Tonight's program is going to be very data heavy. We have a lot to put together here. You have been warned in advance, but it'll be worth it. Recently, as you probably all heard, NBA player Anthony Edwards, another one of these athletic goons who goes around making a bunch of children all over the place and whatnot. Well, they're in and out of child support court. They basically live there. Well, in his case, he kind of got lucky here because he went to court to establish what his child support should be because he was getting shook down. And in what is becoming a pattern and a trend now, women are going to court to try to shake down dues for child support based on what they heard they used to be able to get back in the 80s and 90s. And now you got courts kicking some of this stuff back and saying, as a matter of fact, we're going to cut what you came here and asked for. What? And that was exactly what happened in her case here. And I want to go over some of these facts because I want you all to understand we are in desperate times right now. And tonight's program is going to be interactive. You will have the opportunity, whether you're listening live or recorded, but especially for those of you listening live, to be able to get interactive with this as we go through the information. So TMZ reported that Anthony Edwards scored in child support battle with his ex over a 1-year-old daughter. NBA star Anthony Edwards scored a victory in his never-ending battle with his baby mama, Aisha Howard. This is Aisha Howard right here. As you can see, she spent a lot of time getting liposuction and fat relocation. So what she does is she has children. Her occupation is having children by gullible, stupid 7-figure males. The 10 and 20 and $40 million slaves they put out there. That's her only occupation. She doesn't build anything. She doesn't make anything. She doesn't produce anything except children in order to feed herself and keep herself alive and to pretend that she has a lifestyle. And we're going to come back to these things here in just a few moments here. But what it says is that a Georgia judge ruled on child support for their 1-year-old daughter. According to the court documents obtained by TMZ, a judge ordered the Minnesota Timberwolves star, that's Anthony Edwards, to pay $3,222 a month in child support. Now, the next part is the critical key piece of information that everyone needs to be aware of because this is where the rubber meets the road and this is what matters most. In 2023, Anthony signed a 5-year deal with the Timberwolves worth over $200 million. There's no reason for TMZ to say this except they're very angry and very salty because remember, attacking men, but specifically black men, is a national pastime. His income is irrelevant. However, they then state Aisha's monthly income was listed as $0. Damn! You heard that right. Aisha's income, this chick right here, is $0. Now, to make matters worse, you want to talk about legal malfeasance and fraud. She did the Brittany Renner. She tried to pull a Brittany Renner, which shows you how utterly corrupt the court system is. She tried to file for child support in California because they heard through the grapevine that California is very favorable to sluts and hoes and thoughts. So they went venue shopping, which, by the way, folks, is illegal. It is illegal. It's against the law for you to go around trying to venue shop. And yet these females are doing it. And the only reason they're doing it is because the courts have not started locking them up. If the court would put a few of these Insta sluts in jail when they try that, them and their scumbag ass lawyers, if the courts would do that, you would immediately see that stop. They're only doing that because the courts are allowing it because, remember, they're trying to get you. Stephon Diggs never should have been in court for anything for that heifer. And yet there he was because the court system is targeting men, specifically black men. But by the way, if the courts were doing what they're supposed to be doing, they would have been arrested for trying to do that. So keep that in mind. This part right here is very critical for you to understand because this is where it all comes from. It says here that the judge noted that Aisha did not appear at trial and provided no evidence to back up her claims. Per the documents, Anthony has been paying child support since 2025, beginning with an initial payment of $20,000, followed by $5,000 a month through the date of trial. Anthony has paid a total of $110,000 in child support so far. Well, she decided that wasn't enough. She starts trying to hit him for more, and he's like, you know what, let's go let a judge rule on this. And she was getting $5,000 a month. Now she's going to take a pay cut. Because this is an era where they have said, I mean, folks, it's too difficult. It's too difficult. You have a bunch of chicks out here with stars in their eyes who are trying to make a living simply breathing. In the chat room, you said her social media page isn't making her income. Okay, folks, if you've been following me, I've let you all know about what the game is forever. For those of you who do not understand, you don't get paid to be on social media. That's not the way it works. Having 1 million followers, in her case, she's nowhere near 1 million. She's only at 612,000 followers. People, social media is a place where you can gather an audience, but if you cannot monetize that audience, all you got is a bunch of people gawking and looking at you. And that's it. At least on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is not social media. OnlyFans is a monetization site. Instagram is not monetization. You can't monetize. You're not charging anything. So if you gain an audience in, let's say Kim Kardashian gets millions of people. Once she's got the millions of them there, she starts selling them something. Buy my Spanx, buy my shoes, buy my whatever in the hell she's selling. So they put up pictures and gather an audience, but then they have something to sell them after they get there. The overwhelming majority of these chicks, they don't have anything to sell on Instagram. They may be selling some stuff off Instagram. What? But they're not selling anything on Instagram. So all you're doing is amassing a large audience. Now, don't get me wrong. This is exactly what Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. This is what those websites did. But once they gained a large following, they then started charging advertising. So that's how they monetize their audiences. They get a large audience and then they monetize it. They sell advertising. This chick ain't selling nothing but booty pictures and plastic surgery pictures. Well, she's not even selling it. She's just exhibiting it. Because what she's selling is in her DMs.
Oh, please.
She's doing all this so that she can bag a fella in her DMs, a dumb rapper, an even dumber athlete. So she's doing this for her DMs. That's what her Instagram is for, to get a bunch of folk to follow her so that it raises her profile so that she can go trap some idiot in her DMs because she doesn't have anything to sell. That's the issue. She doesn't have anything to sell. Contrary to popular belief. You know what the real issue was, Brittany Renner? You said that athletes were dumb. You know who's even more dumb? The hoes out here whose only source of income is sleeping with an athlete.
And deal with it, nigga.
You think the athletes are dumb? The athletes still got millions. What about the scavengers? What about these female scavengers, Brittany, who are out here trying to scam on somebody, going to the desperate extreme lengths of having a baby, and then you walk away with a few $1,000s? How dumb is that? I'm saying this for a reason, because those results are creating desperation. They're creating mass desperation. No, the internet does not pay you for anything unless you find a way to monetize it. These chicks don't have a product to sell. They are too airheaded bimboish to be able to host a podcast. Even if they did, what the hell would they talk about of any significance? Remember, Joy Taylor sat up here and gets kicked off of Fox Sports, and she hasn't done anything. Nobody wants to tune in to hear you give the latest slut walk. So they don't have anything they can sell. Their whole racket is scheming on dudes in their DMs. And they try to get the highest caliber, highest quality, should I say value, fella in their DMs and then try to see if they can get a baby or a ring. And that's their whole racket that they run. And for most of them, it simply won't work. For most of them, this is simply not going to be a thing. This is simply not going to happen. There are just too many of you who want to be fed and not nearly enough of you who have the ability to get that. There's not enough athletes, idiot, clown, rappers to go around. Not enough of them. Now, I bring this up because there was a critical key statement in there that I'm going to come back to here in just a moment, because you get over here on Complex and, oh boy, Aisha, little old Aisha crashes out. She put up a statement after she took this L in court. She put up this statement. And what she says is, I am fully aware of the rumors and narratives circulating online regarding my family. Family? What family do you have? What family do you have? What is the family that she's referring to? What family? You don't have a family. You're just a chick with some kids. My family. No, ma'am, you don't have a family. I don't even know if you aspire to one. So I just want to stop right there from what the hell family are you talking about? Regarding my family and my child's financial future, well, you do have some kids. While the intents, by the way, she's got another baby by the idiot bonehead rapper Lil Baby, so this is what she does is breed. While the intense media attention is overwhelming, that's a big word for you. She must have had ChatGPT prepare this. What? The negative backlash directed at an innocent child and mother, nobody's talking about the child, ma'am, everybody's talking about you, so hold this L, is deeply troubling. You are deeply troubling. Much of what is being published by blogs, some of which have been paid, where's your comma, some of which have been paid to spin narratives to protect a client's reputation, name names or it didn't happen, heifer, is entirely false and disconnected from reality. So she's just saying stuff. She's just saying stuff. However, whether true or false, this situation highlights a devastating cycle in our community. Who's our community? Who's our community that she's referring to? What in the world is she talking about our community? Who is that she's referring to? I want to know when she's ever... Now all of a sudden she's like Brittany Renner. These chicks sit up here and get pregnant by dudes, and then they start calling on some black community support or some black unity that they've never asked for before or been advocates for before. What is the community that these heifers or these hoes are appealing to? Since when have they defended, appealed, articulated, spoken to in favor of? We heard Brittany Renner talking that kind of garbage and then talking about how many white dudes she's been with. So it's, what the hell? The normalization of absent fathers and the lack of parental accountability. Ma'am, you are the definition of lack of parental accountability. You have no regard who you throw your legs open for and let get you pregnant with that interstate freeway that you call a uterus. What? Yes, you are the definition of irresponsibility. Lack of parental accountability. You know why? Because you are very much a working age and you don't even have a job. You are a grown-ass woman looking for random men to pay your bills and pay your way through life. That is lack of adult accountability. Can we have a conversation about your lack of a job, your lack of employment, while you're stacking up the kids like Ritz crackers? Can we talk about your lack of parental accountability as a grown-ass woman looking to get paid off of other adults? Like you're our damn dependents. Tragically, our community often feeds into this negativity. You mean the hoe community? Inadvertently applauding behavior that keeps black children at the highest percentile of living in single-parent households. Ma'am, single-parent households, she chose to be a single mom, so she's talking about herself.
Oh, please.
She's talking about herself and acting indignant. She's the single mom who got pregnant by a dude she wasn't married to. After the first one she got pregnant by, she wasn't married to. This dumb bimbo is talking about her damn self. She's talking about herself. Then she wants to talk about the damn U.S. Census. I dare her to sit down and be able to come up with other stats from the census. I'd love to sit across the table from her and ask her about any other census stats. Would you like to talk about the single mother promiscuity stats, Miss Howard? I'd like to discuss that with you. While we thrive in sports, fashion, and culture, we are failing to uphold what it truly means to be men, fathers, and providers. So she didn't say anything about husbands. She didn't say anything about wives. She didn't say anything about two-parent homes. So you think you're going to sit up here and put up some scumbag statement? I'm going to shame him. Why? Because your little scam heist in the courthouse failed? I mean, they're not just bimbos because they look stupid. They're bimbos because they are stupid. I am the mother of 1 out of 3 children who have been abandoned by a celebrated athlete. Ma'am, he told you he did not want to be a father. You were the one deciding, I want to have kids with a guy who does not want to be a father. There's nothing here that you didn't already know. Once again, accountability. Ladies, it's sexy when you have some. Unfortunately, females today are, I'm not going to say allergic to it. They are completely at war with accountability, and it's sick and stupid. Just saying. Because of my platform, this is your platform.
Oh, please.
What platform? You all, she's talking like she's Coretta Scott King. What platform? Other than jiggling your overly inflated hydrogel butt cheeks. What platform? Platform on the stripper stage? Platform at Magic City? What platform is she referring to, y'all? I'm lost. The clown platform at Barnum and Bailey? Because of my platform, you mean the stupid bus? My story receives the most attention. Enjoy it while you can, because you were obscure before this article came out. You will return to obscurity. From obscurity you came, to obscurity you shall return. But beyond the entertainment value, the clicks, and the views, the painful reality is that 3 children are growing up fatherless. No, they're not. He's paying child support. They are growing up motherless because they've got 3 bimbos with others sitting in tow, by the way. So she keeps saying the word father without saying the word mother, and wife is just out of the question. This is not due to a lack of resources, health, or opportunity. It is a conscious choice. A man can take the jersey off his back, run-on sentences. Ma'am, go back and get your GED. While you paid or scammed or whatever tricks you had to turn to get your plastic surgery, ma'am, you need to go back and get your GED so you can learn how to construct a proper grammatical sentence with punctuations. While you're trying to act like this, ChatGPT clearly did not punctuate this. No, you couldn't. If you had run this through ChatGPT, you would punctuate better. Don't worry. In case you all think I'm wrong, she's going to prove me right again here in just a moment. This is not due to lack of resources, health, or opportunity. Where's the period? It is a conscious choice. A man can take the jersey off his back. Okay, no comma again. Shoes off his feet. And to sign for fans, yet his own 3 children are missing that same signature on their birth certificates and have never met him. No space. So, ChatGPT, you have my apology. ChatGPT has my apology. ChatGPT would have done this a lot better. It would have done it a hell of a lot better. Furthermore, the narrative labeling these mothers as gold diggers, facts, for seeking proper care is entirely false. Why don't you get up off of your hot air balloon inflated ass and get a damn job?
And deal with it, nigga.
Get up off of your big ass Welch's grape jelly butt and go get a damn job. You're a freaking adult. You're not a stay-at-home wife. No one volunteered to take care of you. The lowest form of life and the lowest form of scum is a female running around trying to get courts to force people to take care of her big, grown, lazy ass. We have a generation of females out here talking strong and independent on social media, and as soon as they damn feet hit the street, strong and independent goes right out the damn window. Don't worry, I got plenty of invoices tonight, damn receipts. Get up off your big lazy ass and do what every other responsible female does and get you a damn job so that you can stop discussing what them fellas did. Just enjoy the fact that you got laid on top of by an athlete because you went and fought and slaved and did everything by hook or by crook to get it. Well, that's all you get. Now get your lazy ass out there in Atlanta, in Buckhead somewhere, and go start waiting tables with the rest of the college hoes. Damn! That's what you do. But no, nobody wants to claim you and nobody wants to carry you. You had your opportunity before you got pregnant by Lil Baby. At the very least, you could have been a clean slate thought. You chose to sit up here and resort to hoe house tactics. This is what you get. Now start putting in some applications, go get your CDL, what? Or go to nursing school.
Auntie, chill!
Because that's where this story ends. But there's no one going to bring you a 7-figure life. You can sit up here and pose and all this mess and whoever tricked off for a little old handbag for you. But as far as your daily bread, you are going to have to go get that for yourself. You tried to hustle them draws, and you saw that you are a pathetic, stupid manager of your own vagina. You tried to hustle them draws, and it blew up in your face. Now do like all the rest of the chicks who it came up snake eyes for, and get ready to hump it for yourself. Pause. Get ready to get out here and grind on your own. This is what you paid for, but there is no man who is looking to take Aisha Howard as a singular asset. There are no 7-figure men who are looking to take you on. They'll take you for a weekend, but they're not looking to take you for life. The ride is over. The fantasy is dead. And it's time for you to get back to reality. And the court just helped you with it. Look for her lawyers to start falling back now. Now that the courts have ruled, she can talk about what they gonna do next. You're not gonna do a damn thing next. It's over. All they're doing now is chasing stuff. They were hoping to sit up here and throttle him for a quick bag. They're not looking to go years and years with this. All these ambulance chasers and slip and fall attorneys that these sluts are getting to go chase down lawyers and celebrities and athletes and anybody else with 7 figures. Okay, they're trying to get a quick bag. You gonna drag it out. They're gonna do you like they did Brittany Renner. Yeah, we gone. Next up, she's gonna be trying to use ChatGPT to file her own cases. You're just another single mom in Atlanta. That's all you are now. None of the mothers filed for support initially. The father took each mother to court himself. Yeah, because y'all didn't like what he was giving you, and each of you thought, I'm going to sit up here and juice him for a bigger bag because ho logic. That's ho logic. Choosing legal maneuvers over showing up for his children, effectively using the legal system to vanish from their lives. How the hell can he vanish from their lives? He's going to be playing games every other day. He's going to be playing games 3 days a week. You can buy a ticket with the rest of the chicks. Ain't nothing stopping you except unless he gets a restraining order. And maybe that needs to be done. While the internet remains invested in rumors, these aren't rumors, man. These are facts. These are the facts that matter. We cannot correct a cycle of absence if we continue to excuse it. So you figure because you were pregnant to drop the load that means you're a present parent. Okay. We cannot correct a cycle of absence if we continue to excuse it. My legal team and I possess all the facts, evidence, and documentation regarding these proceedings, and we will move forward accordingly. Well, according to the judge, you didn't even show up for your own trial and provided no evidence.
Lie.
So according to the judge, if you have any facts or documentation, you didn't bring them with you. You had plenty of opportunities to bring your facts and documentation, and you didn't do it. So you on the internet trying to save face. Rumors will not dictate the final outcome. No, the courtroom dictated the final outcome. You lost, ho. Game over. In any case, I want you all to understand what this is really about. If I seem like I'm on a bit of a tear tonight, it's because I am. I want you all to understand what this is really about, because I don't want you to get lost in this. And by the way, if you all agree with what you're hearing here tonight, give me the green check mark emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 1,400 people in here live. I'm just getting warm. Hopefully we can go ahead and finish this. But if you agree with what I'm saying here tonight, specifically among the fellas here, give me the green check mark emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. Because the key issue here, folks, is that they're getting desperate out here today. They're getting desperate out here today. You see, you can go post up all the pictures you want to. You can go throw on all the waist trainers you want to. You can get all the breast implants you want to. You can go grab all the Chanel bags and shoes you want to and sit up here and pose all you want to. You can go cake on the makeup until it's as thick as asphalt. You can do all that you want to, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to survive off of Instagram pictures. You can't survive fronting a 7-figure life. Somebody's going to have to pay for all this, and they're going to have to pay for it on a regular, consistent basis. It's not going to be enough to sit up here and just photobomb. Somebody is going to have to do the work, the sweat, every day to make these things happen. Somebody's going to have to do that. If there was ever a picture that said, I am not resourceful or productive, this is it. What? This picture right here says childlike and unresourceful. This is not a female that an accomplished man with a future, he can look at you and tell you have a childlike, infantile mentality. You're looking for somebody to treat you like their overgrown ass, wasteless, shiftless daughter. Not like a mate who pulls her own weight, because you don't. She just wants to sit up here and go pose and profile, but that's all she wants to do for the rest of her days. Well, what you all are finding out is you can get 71,000 likes, but the issue is there ain't nothing in her. This guy right here, this better be a bot program. All these fellas sitting up here putting up the fire emojis, and she's in child support court with zero income.
Nigga, please.
That's the point I'm trying to impress on y'all. She can throw up all these pictures she wants to and get them filtered and airbrushed in the apps all she wants to. But at the end of the day, none of the guys who are liking her posts, 71,000 likes and $0. Nobody's offering anything. She went to court for the only one who would. The court said his $3,000, carry your big inflated ass. And that's where she is today. I'm not dissing Obama on nothing. What I'm saying is the damn heist is over. The scam is over. It's over. 71,000 likes and $0. Now, here's your homework assignment, everybody. While I am sitting over here holding court and firing up the grill. Okay, that's the pot, but you get the point. Your homework assignment is this particular Chanel bag. I want you all to go find this particular Chanel bag. Take a look at it. If you want to go to her Instagram, you can there. Claiming she was in the Bahamas, that's great. When them niggas was throwing you that trick off money, you should have been okay with that. Your homework assignment is to go find this Chanel bag. Go look it up and see how much it costs to get one. Now, you saw some of the others. I already know how much this bag is. I already know. But so that you have proper context for what I'm saying here tonight, I want you to go and look up this particular Chanel bag. That's why I'm leaving it on the screen this long so you can see it. If you want to, you can go to her Instagram, July 5th, 2023, and you can see the bag itself. And I want you to go look it up and see how much that bag costs. And you can see the shades and whatnot in the shoes. So, yeah, she's trying to drop all the designer stuff. And, I'm living that lavish life in the Bahamas. She's acting like everything is great and wonderful. And, okay, but, folk, you can't lie to the judge. The judge said that she told the court she has no income. Now, I would like for them to verify and validate that because I want to know, hey, man, are you getting any Cash Apps? Are you getting any Venmos? Are niggas out here throwing you any trick-off money? We would need to find out if you're getting no money at all or whether or not you just saying you don't get anything. It may very well be a knockoff because it does look a certain kind of way, but I want you all to go and see what that actually is. I want you to go see what that is. Go ahead and see what that is. Now, while you all are doing that, I keep reminding you about this because all of this sounds terribly familiar if you think about it. When you think about it, all of that actually sounds very familiar. We heard this before. We heard this more recently from Brittany Renner, and I covered all this before because remember, I went and got the documents. I went and got the documents and showed you all what it really was. Because you see, when Brittany Renner went to child support court, what she told them was that she didn't have any income. Well, she told them she didn't have any consistent income. Let me rephrase that. When Brittany showed up in child support court, she told them she didn't have any income. That's a very good thing for y'all to remember. Remember, I showed you the documents. Brittany Renner's retainer had already been exhausted. And Brittany Renner does not have consistent income other than the $5,500 in child support that she currently receives.
Damn!
This is the real damn world, folks. You see, in the female psyche, attention is currency. In the female psyche, getting attention is as good as money. The problem is you can't spend your followers at Georgia Power. That doesn't pay the rent, is followers. So you can put up all the pictures in the world fronting like everything's together and everything is lavish and, I'm in the Bahamas and Miami. Okay, but what I'm telling y'all is Yeah, she's posting from the Bahamas and Miami, but she's in child support court saying, by the way, would anybody like to take care of a bum? Hey, y'all, this guy here, I would gladly step up and be a dad to her daughter. Yeah, these are the guys who are willing to follow up behind Lil Baby and Anthony Edwards and whatever other trained body count you got. These are the guys willing to do that. The 7-figure dudes who were okay before you became baby mama and single mama material, they've left the building. They've left the building. You might find another dude to get you pregnant, but the fellas who are going to provide for you, who will willingly provide for you for the rest of your life, yeah, they're not present. It ain't happening. It's not happening. No, she better go try to find some 60-year-old nigga out there somewhere, but even those guys not looking for this because she's got small children, so yeah, they're not looking for that. They're not looking for that. I'm offending a lot of folks with tonight's program. I understand tonight's program is very offensive. Folks don't like it very much. I get that. I may go ahead and wrap it up here in a little bit, but I wanted to make an appearance here tonight to show you all that it's desperate times out here. It used to be that you could run the child support hustle. It used to be that you could run that child support scam, slip in bed with a dude and get pregnant and everything was great. And then the courts would just throw you a check. What you're finding is it's getting more difficult to get that, even from dudes with 7 and 8 figures. It's getting rough. It's getting hard. It's getting difficult. This is not what you bargained for. This was supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be an easy layup. Pause. And what they're finding out is this damn me Mortal Kombat. It's not easy. Not anymore. They're used to living on Easy Street, and what they're finding out is that Easy Street has been closed. And these are a bunch of very grown, very healthy, very capable grown women trying to figure out how to do everything except get off their lazy ass, get a job, and work. Maybe if you had a job, you would have been doing things other than sitting up here whacking out the children that you can't take care of, because what's cracked your psyche isn't just having the children. What's cracked your psyche is that the kids were supposed to be the bag so that you could execute your exploitation fantasy due to your hatred of men. And the kids were supposed to be the bag. And it's going up in smoke. It's going up in flames. You find some dirtbag lawyers to sit up here and take your damn case, your slip and fall case, because, oh, you got a baby by an athlete? Now the lawyers are starting to figure out, oh, wait a minute, the courthouse doors are closing up lately. So that's no longer going to be the slam dunk it used to be. So everybody's going to have to start thinking twice. Because you see, she wants to get the shoes and the Chanel bags and hang out on the corners and get the designer sunglasses. But she doesn't have the means or the talent or the resources or the skills to be able to get that on her own. I want you all to understand something here so I can put this in its proper context for you. This is a catch-up moment. If you will remember, 3 years ago, we covered this. I was way ahead of the media. I was way ahead of the corporate media. I told you about this 7 and 8 years ago when you talked about what it took to be in the top 10%. Please remember that. There are folks out there that don't like that, but I need to remind you, when I told folks you can't just lift what I'm saying and then go try to put a spin on it, because I keep the data up to date. And your numbers were way out of date. So that became a stump speech, but it wasn't actually practical knowledge. So if you were told $10,000 a month during the pandemic, I was like, wait a minute, that's not even close. You're way behind. That's not accurate. You guys are not updating your files.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
So in this place, we keep our files up to date. Now, if you'll remember, 3 years ago, I showed you all this, that the top 10% was not $100,000. The top 10% was $173,000. And the top 5% was $342,000. To make sure that the information is accurate, not a bunch of out-of-date, obsolete, erroneous stuff you just saying because it's your stump speech. So the top 10% was not $10,000 a month. That wasn't even close. This was the top 10%. Did you all notice I keep saying was? Do you remember? Do you notice I keep saying that? Is was. Well, yeah, because I'm up to date. That's what the numbers were. This is what the numbers are.
Damn!
For those of you who ain't kept up to date with it, this is what the numbers were. These are what the numbers are for 2026. The top 10% was $173,000. The top 10% now is $250,792.
Damn!
Oh, we keep our numbers up to date. We keep our numbers up to date here. So, for anybody still over there at Fresh and Misfit and all the others who are still running around their stump speeches, I told you all back then the top 10% was going to be 250 by 2023, 2024. Did I call it or did I call it? Hey, folks, did I nail it or did I nail it? Top 10%, 250. Never mind the fact that just a few years ago, that 250 would have been closer to that 5%. But okay, now, okay, if you ain't in the 250, forget it. That ain't you. It's not you. You ain't gonna like it. It ain't you. And for the top 5%, it was 342. Now it's 352. Now, if it makes you feel any better, the numbers for the top 1% and the top 10th of 1%, those numbers have come down, if you consider this to be down. To be in the top 1%, it used to be 823,000. Now it's come down to a very affordable, very achievable 794,000, which is basically almost 3 times. No, it's 3 times, over 3 times that top 10%. Over 3 times the top 10%. So to get in the top 1%, get to the top 10%, and then triple that.
What?
Nigga, what?
Yeah. Get in the top 10% at 250, and then triple that. And now you're in the 1%. Now you're in the 1%. And this chick here is angling on her life to grab somebody in the top 1% and get him to completely and thoroughly commit to her on a very long-term basis, and long-term means for the next 2 or 3 decades, so that she can sit back on beaches and style and profile, produce nothing, create nothing, do nothing, just be one of the designated high-profile concubines. And remember who reintroduced that term into the lexicon? Welcome to Generation Concubine. The only thing she is offering is her sex organ. And she's looking for a man who's going to commit to that, because she offers nothing else. And she's whining and complaining about the results of her sex organ, but she's not talking about what she contributes, produces, or outside of sex. Everything of her so-called value is directly connected to sex. There isn't anything outside of it. So there's a critical question that now faces us. Who? Folks, we need to determine who. Who is it? Who is going to get Brittany Renner her next Bentley?
What? Damn!
Oh, please.
These are the critical questions that now face society. Who is going to get Brittany Renner her next Prada bag? Who is going to take Brittany Renner from Ocean Springs, Mississippi on her next trip to Turks and Caicos? Who is going to finance that? Because we saw what she used to look like back when Drake was on the phone. We see how she looked back then when Drake was on the phone, when Colin Kaepernick was on the phone. We see what she used to look like back then when she was in LA, when she was in New York, when she was in Miami, when she was in Atlanta. This is what she looked like when she was in New York, LA, and Atlanta. This is what she looking like in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Nigga, please.
This is what she look like now in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. You damn right she's trying to get back to LA because she looks like a Mississippi 10. She's starting to look like a Mississippi 10 now. Who is going to get her back to that level, that 1%er level? Because clearly she has no plan, no clue, and no ability. So, folks, who's going to take care of that? Who is going to take care of footing this amount? Because remember, Brittany sat there in court and told you, yeah, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. All I got is the child support money. I ain't got it. She needs somebody to take care of this. She getting $60,000, $70,000 a year right now. She needs somebody to get her up to that $794. And in reality, that's not enough. She really wants that $2 million. She needs somebody who's gonna get her up there. Who volunteered for stepdaddy season to do that? Because she's in court letting you know, hey, baby, ain't no money. Ain't no money. Anybody who gets with her, all you get is her. She brings no resources. Nothing. Now, the reason why I'm beating this like a drum is because there is some housekeeping that needs to be done. There is some housekeeping that needs to be done. And I'm going to go ahead and do this now because I did not get to cover this before. I wanted to do so, but I wanted to tread carefully. And even tonight, I will continue treading carefully because, as we all know, Marcellus listens into the program. Shout out Marcellus. He didn't say my name, but that's cool. Nobody, everybody else is afraid to, but we're used to it by now. However, I will say this because there's misinformation and disinformation. We want to make sure we stay accurate here. And I'm not going to follow up behind everything, but I am going to say this. Anne-Marie Wiley is another one. And I need some folks to understand something here. We're not going to go off of supposition. Let's go off of facts. Don't tell me what you guess someone in her position makes. You can go on Indeed. You can go on Career Builder. You can go look up what they're hiring for. Go look up the ads hiring for a CRNA in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills. You can go look up what they're hiring for. I'll let you all go ahead and do that. I'm not going to put nothing on Front Street. I'm going to just say you all can go look up that yourselves. Now, I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to be deliberately vague and deliberately respectful because I know they're listening in, so I'm just letting them know I'm being deliberately respectful, and thus I have to be deliberately vague. I know of the house that Anne-Marie and Marcellus got. Y'all, As you would probably expect, it's a multi-million-dollar house.
Damn!
As you all can probably expect, Anne Marie and Marcellus Wiley's house is a multi-million-dollar home. According to my information, we're looking at about 2021 for that particular house. We're looking at 2021. Well, if you take a look at the divorce documents and take a look at specifically when they started having real serious trouble, when they started having real serious problems, when they started having real fallings out, remember I said, whoa, the pandemic. So, for the record, Anne Marie, guess what, Marcellus? They're married here. They've been married for a few years, and then they go move into this multi-million-dollar house. And I don't just mean 1 or 2 million. I'm going to leave it at that. This is not, just a $1 or $2 million house. I'm going to leave it there. Now, I don't know what your mama told you that they make or whatever. What I'm telling you is that this is going to be a heavy ass haul for a single individual that now the household income has been cut in half, at least. This is going to be a heavy ass haul. This is not going to be lightweight. This is going to be heavy. Especially if you're going to carry this. So when it looks like your money is getting light and that envelope is getting a little light you carrying home, chicks going to start heading for the exits if they already got the kids. Now, if you're in the NBA and getting the bag, they're going to try to load up on you. But if those days are behind you, it's actually the opposite. They got the kids, now they're heading for the exits. You know why? Because it's desperate times. It's desperate times, people. It's desperate times, and they're letting you know they want to live that top 1%er life. And in reality, that top 1/10 of 1%er life. They want to live life like money is no object. These women want to have a closet full of shoes and a closet full of handbags and a closet full of dresses. And let me remind you all, if women had their druthers, I'm hurting a lot of feelings tonight, but damn ya.
And deal with it, nigga.
Well, some folks didn't like I said this tonight. They're hearing some things that hit a little too close to home, but it's the truth. If women had their druthers, let me explain, reveal the ugly underbelly to remind you all. If women had their druthers, if women had their way, they would wear something only one time and never wear it again. What? There's the dirty little secret from men. Fellas, if females had their whims, they would wear an outfit one time. Like, damn me, King Louis XIV. They would wear an outfit only one time and then throw it away. They would wear a pair of socks, a pair of shoes. They would only wear it once and then immediately discard it. Every day, they would be wearing something new or something different for the rest of their lives. They would never have the same handbag, never have the same shoes, never have the same dress, never have the same hat, never have the same jewelry. What? If they had their way, they would never wear the same item of clothing twice. Now, let's bump this up. They would never drive the same car twice.
Oh, please.
Fellas, if they had their druthers, they would never drive the same car twice. They would have a new car for every day of the year. Now, They're not being honest with you. This is not downing females. This is just being honest about it. Let's just be real. Fellas, they're not telling you what I just told you, but what I just told you is reality. That is reality. So the question becomes, well, who in the hell is gonna foot that type of financial burden that you're starting your wardrobe from zero every morning? I mean, if you're Larry Ellison and you're making billions, I suppose that's feasible. You have more money than you could ever reasonably spend in 10 lifetimes. But I mean, fellas, if you're making $500,000 a year and we're starting the wardrobe from zero every morning because she's got some psychological fixation or disorder. Did they tell you that one? Did they tell you that? No, the women aren't saying that to you, but take a look at their fantasy life on Instagram is what I'm telling you. If you take a look at their fantasy life on Instagram, you can see exactly what they really mean, because this is what they really want. Their ideal life is to go live on a beach somewhere, be some eye candy goddess, and live some unbelievably lavish lifestyle and never have any adult responsibilities. If they had their druthers, that's what life would be. They would just walk around like giant overgrown children, wandering from one place to another, eating up all of the candy across the world, and they would never have to lift a finger to do it. They could just spend their lives, quote, exploring. Just exploring and looking around. And I'm talking about in the most expensive things that men built. And they would just spend their lives just browsing and perusing it on your dime. Because, of course, she is too good to have to actually toil or work or give any effort for it. So it's going to be you doing it. And her job is to look cute next to you, not even to encourage you, not even to lift you up when you're feeling bad, that she doesn't have to do anything for you. Nothing. Her job is just to sit there and look cute. She doesn't have to be attentive. She doesn't have to be caring. She doesn't even have to emotionally sacrifice. She doesn't have to ask you what's wrong with your day. If anything is tough going on with you, she doesn't have to care for you, nurture you, so she can treat you like a hateful roommate. And your job is to fawn over her and worship her while she treats you like dirt. Which is why they love being on the beach, because, and by the way, if you notice, there's no men. Yeah, their ideal fantasy is treating a man like absolute trash. You're just filth under her feet, and you should just be happy that she acknowledges you even exist. Why, you should be fortunate that you got a woman like me to spend your money on. That's their ideal, quote, relationship. That they get paid to be with a man. That men pay them just to be here. And that she gets everything she wants, and you get, you don't want to talk about malice. Her ideal situation in her mind is she gets everything and you get nothing. Notice those two go together. It's not that she gets everything and you get everything. Her ideal is she gets everything and she makes sure you get nothing. She's not happy if you're happy. She wants to make sure I'm happy, I get everything, and oh yeah, you get nothing. Don't you get it? If you do have it, I'll see if I can take it from you, because I don't want you happy. I want a male I can punish. Talk about their unresolved daddy issues. I mean, with Brittany Renner, she isn't even hiding it. She hates all men. She hates every male. She talks about her mom, doesn't talk about her dad. Sign, people. So who is going to finance this 1%er life, man? Who's going to do that? These chicks can't afford it. They have no income. They can't afford it. They're going to court having to confess to the judge, I ain't got no money. So, folks, people, who's going to foot this $2 million a year? Who's going to foot this $3 million a year? Hell, who's going to foot the $794? Because she ain't going to do it. She's not going to do it. So I ask you all, who's going to do it when these females have made up in their minds that they have no intention of leaving this earth without having that be their life? I've had to remind you all that Brittany is threatening right now that her entire goal is to get back to Los Angeles. She doesn't mean Los Angeles, the geographic city location. She means Los Angeles, the area and status in life that she had back in the day. That's what she's referring to. She's referring to back when she was on top. She's referring to that. That's the, quote, Los Angeles she's referring to. Not a geographic location, but a status in life. Who's going to take care of that now? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? Who's going to make that occur? Because the handbags are only getting more expensive. The cars are getting way more expensive. Who's going to take care of this? They're in desperate times. They're watching all the dreams slip away. Let me explain something to y'all right quick. And these folks know this. To the fellas out there, fellas, do you know how quickly a expensive designer bag deteriorates in the hands of a chick who doesn't have either the knowledge or the resources to properly take care of it?
What?
Folks, when you get genuine leather, when you get genuine lambskin, when you get genuine camel skin, you have to take care of that. For those of you who have cars with genuine premium Napa leather, or if you have an exotic with premium Napa leather, you know you have to maintain that at least a couple of times a year. You need to make sure you wash it down and then condition the leather. If you have something made of genuine leather, for those of you who didn't know, you know you're supposed to be conditioning it because leather is basically skin. It's cowhide, but it's basically skin. You're supposed to be conditioning the leather if you want it to last and maintain it. So for those of you who did not know, if you got leather shoes, real leather shoes, leather purses, leather watches, leather wallets, not watches, that'd be weird. Well, if you got leather straps on your watches, if you got leather seats, leather upholstery in the car, you're supposed to be cleaning it and conditioning it. Okay, 95% of females do not know that. Most of them got the same purse. They have never conditioned it, never cleaned it, never nothing. If it gets dirty, they might wipe it off, but they don't make it a point to go do that or to send it to a shop. If they get one of the designer handbags, to send it back to them so that they can do the cleaning and conditioning. You don't know any females in here who that's what they do. If they did, they'd be talking about it all the damn time because it's expensive. So just keep that in mind. Once you start trying to live that life, that is a lifestyle. If you want to keep your Prada bag, your Hermes bag, if you want to keep those things, you have to maintain them. Who's gonna pay for that? Well, the overwhelming majority of the female population will not. Okay, so it ends up being somebody else's responsibility. Do you realize how quickly shoes... Let me show y'all something here, because this is really silly. I'm not meaning to bomb on her too much, but I guess I'm bombing, so bombs away. Let me remind you of something here. Now, you can go to the beach, and for those of you who live in a state that actually has a real beach, not Louisiana, a state that has a real beach. Folks, have you ever tried to walk in shoes with heels? Do you know what that does? Yeah, you can sit on the beach and pose for some pictures. Have you seen what sand does to heels on actual expensive shoes with heels? Have you seen what sand does to those? Ask me how I know. That looks cute. You can't walk on a beach with shoes with heels. It'll tear them apart. You can't do that. That's how you know she walked out there with sandals and let me go style and profile. You can't take this kind of stuff and lay it on the beach. A beach is abrasive. It's like putting it in a sandblaster. Literally. You can't do that. If I wanted to ruin your leather garments, this is what I would do to it. So they treat them like toys. They're big overgrown children who grab this stuff and constantly treat it like toys. So you're getting whole Chanel bags. They're supposed to be throwaway items. So to anybody who doesn't know, ladies go, there's not a single female in here who does not know that. You do not take heels to the beach. You walk in heels at the mall. If you want to tear them up, go walk on some sand with them. You don't go to the beach in anything with heels. You can take pictures, but that's all you can do. You're not going to walk with them. How do I know what they do with heels? Because all them chicks were walking in the heels, nigga.
And deal with it, nigga.
Because back when I was a lot younger and more stupid, they wanted to go walking on the beach in the heels. I'm like, okay, go ahead. After about the second or third time of seeing what happened there, it's like, okay, yeah, we're not walking on. Yeah, go get some sandals. Yeah, I know they're a lot cheaper. Yeah, stunting. Get some sandals. Yeah, go get some sandals. Yeah, well, we're done with the heels. You can put the heels back on when you get in the car. We're done with the heels. Sandals on the beach, heels in the car. Yeah. Beautiful stunting. Yeah. Sandals. You're going to be the cutest thing out here with sandals on. That's who you going to be. In any case, I'm just letting y'all know these are the telltale signs. Am I making it up? Of course not. I'm not making it up. I'm showing you how they live, and they expect you to buy her new heels every week. That her job is to look cute, and that she's supposed to go on the beach, and just like these boys out here with their Dodge Chargers, she's supposed to tear up the clutches, tear up the transmission, and you are supposed to buy her a new pair of shoes every time she walks out that door. You buy her new shoes, you buy her new handbags. She doesn't have to maintain any of it. Doesn't have to take care of any of it. It's your job to replace it. It's her job to wear it. And that's why I'm saying, do you realize, okay, well, if you're going to do that, who the hell gonna foot this bill? And every female has this fantasy. Every female has the fantasy in her head. I don't care if she's 18 or 85. She has the fantasy in her head that this is the life she gonna live. Y'all remember the old chick from Knots Landing is 85 years old, wants to get an OnlyFans?
Auntie, chill!
Fellas, they don't give that up. They are not looking to carry any of the workload. They want a lavish, luxurious, immeasurable life, and they consider it a mortal insult for you to tell them that they got to carry the load. I said this before and niggas didn't want to hear it, but you don't have to want to hear it. I'm like, okay, I know exactly what kind of life Anna Marie Wiley been living. CRNA can't afford that. No disrespect, no diss whatsoever. She ain't stunting in Beverly Hills and wants to be pulling up in a damn Tesla Model X. That's not the move. That's not the move. She's in Beverly Hills and she really wants to be pushing that Ferrari Purosangue. She really wants to do that. That's what she really wants to do. Who gonna foot that? You know, these unspoken assumptions that they have. Who's gonna foot that? I'm coming back to this because I want the fellas to understand what the real damn numbers are now. I want you to know what the real numbers are. J-Bo Diesel, I did a whole program about Aisha, so go back and check through the archive. I did a whole program about Aisha. And I want you to understand that for the fellas out here, no, the females aren't telling you what their real expectation and their real number is. I don't care if she's a solid foe.
Nigga, what?
I'm telling you what she expects. You have average and below average females, and they're all expecting 1%er life. And they're lying to you about what they expect the real number to be. They're lying. So they're doing the most dastardly stuff. They're running the child support court now. They're trying to sleep and freak and have a baby. They're trying to sue people. They're making false allegations. Stefan Diggs, they're doing all the above to him. This is where they are today. Because it's too damn difficult to get this. Let me explain something to y'all, in case y'all didn't understand and didn't know. Let me explain something to you. I said this before here, and folk don't want to hear this because a lot of folk are living in their damn Instagram dream life, or just the internet is just the ignorance net. Even if Anne-Marie Wiley is making the top pay grade, which would be somewhere around $350,000, $400,000, you got to work your ass off to get that. Nobody pays you that kind of money for you to just show up whenever you want to. If someone is paying you $100, $200 an hour, they expect you to be at their beck and call. Did you get that? That's not giveaway money. Nobody pays a doctor to show up when he wants to show up. If you're a doctor making real bread, and most doctors don't, by the way, ironically enough, but if you're a doctor making real bread, you are on call. You are there when the hospital tells you to be there. I mean, do you understand that, like, if you're a doctor or emergency doctor or chief of surgery or something, you can be at your child's piano recital. If that phone rings and it's the hospital and they say it's an emergency, we need you to get here now, you got to get up and leave that recital on a Sunday afternoon and get to that hospital. They're not paying you what they're paying you for charity. They're paying you that because they expect you to be at their beck and call every time they want you for something. You don't get to make no rules. They're paying you that specifically so they can make the rules. So you can brag about this mess all you want to. And you can talk about being a CRNA and a PRN and an RN and whatnot. You jump when they say jump. You just get to say how high you need me in the air and how long do you need me to stay up here. Anybody who has ever anybody who's ever been married to or dated a doctor or a nurse practitioner or a CRNA or one of these high level folk, anybody who's done that, you know full damn well they ain't got a life. They don't have a life. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that? They don't have a life. They spend most of their time talking about how tired they are. They don't have a life. They're stressed to hell. They're stretched out all over the damn place. So they can take a few minutes to go on social media and front and fake like everything's great. This stuff's a meat grinder. Who in the hell is going to foot this part here? Because the women aren't talking about footing that part because they're looking to help you lift it. They're looking for a fellow who gonna lift this so that she can go primp and pose on the beach. Okay, am I lying? Am I lying? Am I making any of this up? Anybody who's worked at a college, if you've worked at a university, you know, if you're in administration or even professors, man, look here, they spend most of their time gone. They spend most of their time gone. They spend most of their time working. If you get a chick who's in the legal field, they spend the majority of their time working. If you get a chick who's a celebrity, she spends most of her time working or chasing a role. Man, you don't get to get at this level right here and you ain't working all the damn time. You don't get to do that. So all the rest of this is a bunch of lies being fed on social media with no one asking real questions to put this in its proper context. And the crazy part is that 90% of the population doesn't make that 250 level. 90%. The majority of that is male. 90%. 9 out of 10 don't even make the 250. 9 out of 10. And 99% don't make the $794,000, basically $800,000. 99% of the population doesn't get that. 99. What I'm saying here is that exactly who is your competition is what I'm trying to ask you. You want to know why it's desperate out there? Because the women aren't being honest with you about what they really expect. Fellas, who's your real competition? They're already trying to dogpile everybody in the top 10%. Those guys are swimming in sex. And who's your competition, man? Now that you actually understand, updated for 2026, what the real numbers are. However, you might disagree. Therefore, I've gone ahead and pinned the Zoom link there in the chat room. You're more than welcome to go ahead and give us a call. If you've been instructed by my mods to call in, that's not just a great idea, that's a requirement. We're doing this tonight so we can go ahead and update your files for you.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
So that all the disinformation and misinformation that's out there, so you know exactly what the real numbers are. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who's contributed to the nice program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to Sir Shy. Thank you very much for your support tonight here, brother. We appreciate that. To Ryder Firehawk, Repink, Chris B, J-Bo Diesel. Appreciate your support here tonight as well. Want to thank Wesley here, to Vincent, Suleiman, and everybody else here who's contributed to support the program. Thank you very much for your support here tonight. It's a whole different thing when somebody tells you what the actual numbers are. It is a whole different thing when somebody actually breaks it down and tells you what the actual numbers are. Then it starts making a whole lot more sense why it is that folks are out here crashing the hell out. It makes a whole lot more damn sense. Fellas, do you understand? For a lot of you fellas out there, you think of yourselves as just working dudes, and nobody has actually told you what it actually really is. Man, I'm not saying it to try to belittle anything. I'm saying it to tell you, hey, this is the damn math, dude. If you're making $100,000 a year, you're working class. If you're making $150,000 a year, you're working class. That doesn't mean you're dumb. That doesn't mean you're lazy. That doesn't mean you're shiftless. What I am saying is it also doesn't mean that you're balling. If your chick wants to rub them butt cheeks in a Range Rover Autobiography, Bentley Bentayga, Ferrari Purosangue, or much less a Rolls Royce Cullinan, if she really wants a downbeat, down and dirty stunt mobile, 150 G's ain't gonna get it done. That's not gonna make it happen. It's not gonna happen. I mean, you might be able to grab some used thing and, I've been talking to a couple of folks this week, and let me go ahead and explain that one to you while I'm at it, so I can go ahead and complete you all's training. let me go ahead and complete you all's training, and let me see if Miss Thadiopoulos went ahead and posted in something there, because I love it when they try to do that kind of stuff, because they're not really honest about what it really is. And we've covered this before, but I want to have an opportunity to cover this again because it needs to be. I want to have an opportunity to cover that again because it needs to be covered here. What they're not doing is being honest with you about. Folks don't really understand when they start down this road. I said it was a lifestyle, and it's something you have to keep in mind. And let me go ahead and explain that used thing, because I've talked about it before, but I want to take a moment here to go over the real numbers for it and go over what you can really expect. So let's just say that you go grab some chick out here and whatnot, and she's sitting up here nagging you, and she wants a G-Wagon. We're just going to go ahead and say that one, since that's the car du jour. You get somebody who wants a G-Wagon. And remember, 75% of these cars are leased. Now, if you assume that the usual average lease is going to be 2 to 3 years, here's the issue. When cars like these are leased, remember, your mileage is limited. And basically, the manufacturers and the dealership are selling these cars, leasing these cars to these people, the first buyers of the car, the new car buyers. They're leasing them to them with the expectation that there will be no maintenance done.
Nigga, what?
In case you all didn't know, they're leasing it with the expectation that during the time of the lease, that the customer is just going to drive the car and will do zero maintenance. So that's why they tell you that, oh, it's got a 10,000 mile oil change interval. That's a big ass lie. The oil change interval is still 3,000 miles. But what they're saying is, well, it can make it 10,000 miles because they're assuming that as a leaser, leasee, you are not going to do your maintenance. So the transmission fluid, the brake fluid, radiator, even the brakes, they're assuming you're not going to do any maintenance during the lease period. Okay, but folks, remember, during that period, we're eventually going to get to some of the regular repairs and maintenance that needs to be done. So what I'm telling you is that I went to the explanation to say that if this person has driven the car for 2 or 3 years and done no maintenance, you do understand that if you come and buy that car 3 years later, even certified, used, pre-owned, whatever, you do realize that you're buying the car just in time to start picking up all the maintenance costs. Right? What? You do realize that, right? Even if you buy one of these cars used, you do realize that you're doing it just in time to pick up the maintenance costs. They've already put 10, 12,000, 20,000 miles on it. They've already done that. And so they're expecting you to pick that up. Yeah, did you realize that? Oh, they didn't tell you that. Yeah, so once again, who's going to pay the bill on this? Who's going to pay the bill on this? Because she's made it very clear to you she has no expectation of doing that. So when it's time to do the A and the B service, who's going to pay that $2,000? If the brakes need to be done, G-Wagons eat through brakes, unless you get the ceramic ones, and even then it's going to eat through those too. It just won't leave as much brake dust, but it's going to eat through those. Who's going to pick this up, man? Who's going to do that? God forbid you have a major repair. Who's going to do that? So did that dawn on you that even if you do go get a used one, if you're buying it off a lease, which most of you will be, you're just in time for all the stuff under maintenance that breaks or needs to be the consumables, transmission, transfer cases, brakes, brake fluid. You're just in time to have to go pay for those. In the chat room, New Money Marcus needs to give me a call on Zoom. I'm so glad you said that. You need to give me a call on Zoom. By the way, my crackhead mods, we'll just have to wake them up for that. So my crackhead mods are doing everything except what they're supposed to be.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You know what that does to you?
Yeah, y'all like it. My mods are straight off of damn me Skid Row. Damn! Yeah, y'all know me. I get my mods straight from the methadone clinic, so I'll be going by freeway overpasses. Hey, you want a mod? Yeah, I did. So that's basically my life right there. Yeah, man. Okay, New Money Marcus, you are not to make any more comments until after that, so you're done. So, if you can be in the chat room, you're going to lie like that, let me go ahead and just boot you on out. You can come back after you've called in. So, I know, we're in the fruit booty mama's boy generation, dude. People just say silly things. Hey, watch me talk stupid. Okay, well, come on over here and talk. Oh, I'm busy. I'm jet setting. Nigga, if you don't stop, you sitting out here driving Uber Eats tonight. What? Talking about getting on a plane. He's out here driving Uber Eats tonight. He's sitting somewhere seeing if he can pick up some fried rice somewhere and drop it off. And talking about getting on a plane. All right. Sit your ass all the way down. Raider King, you can send me an email just so long as you're here every week. I require my crackheads to be here every week. They at least have to show up. So if it's folk I can't see on a regular basis, they'll be the real problem. So y'all should see what my life is. It's just terrible, you know. It's just terrible. But yeah, man, if you do go off and go get one of those, you're just in time to pick up all the damn maintenance costs for it. And the maintenance costs don't stop. This is why you see hoes sitting in them cars. I told you all, you're not going to see her driving that thing in a year. Well, except Kendra G and that 12-year-old one she got. What? No disrespect to Kendra G. It's just like, okay, baby, that thing is old enough to go to middle school. So it's like, okay. In between your Honda, I guess. It's not going to be your daily driver. What I am saying is somebody's going to have to pick up the bill. Somebody's going to have to pick up that bill. Somebody's going to have to carry that note. And it ain't going to be you. It's not going to be you. You're not going to do that. She's too busy trying to figure out a beach she can get on to go take pictures of herself. Okay, who the hell's going to do the real damn work is what I'm asking y'all. If the females are just going to be sitting on the beach taking pictures all damn year, who the hell's going to do the real work? That's the only question I'm asking anybody here. If the females are going to be out here taking selfies all damn year, well, then who's going to do the work to pay for this? Because she's telling you she don't make any income. Income is zero. Okay, in the chat room, I mean, stick to Lexus, bruh. I mean, when's the last time Lexus was a showstopper? Maybe the LFA? Come on now. How many people turned their heads when you drove your Lexus down Rodeo Drive? How many people turned their heads when you drove your Navigator down Rodeo Drive? How many folk did that? How many folk turned their heads when you drove your Toyota Avalon down Rosecrans, down Amsterdam? You know, how many folks did that? Okay, go see if you can find one of those. So that means something to you. It doesn't really register the population. That's car guy stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm a car guy too. But I also understand that's really something for a small group of people. That is not something that the masses respect. They don't. Which is why you can pick up one of those for a damn song, by the way. Okay, just stop it. Just quit. This is where mama's boys start doing that thing. Just quit. You can go on Auto Trader and pick those things up for a fraction of their MSRP. Nobody, you ain't seen anybody on Instagram sitting up here stunting with their Lexus sports car. Just quit. You haven't heard them mention it. Tell me one song it's been in, one Instagram post. You haven't seen that. So this is something that you value in your own head. It's not something that other people value. So get over it. I know you want to sound like, I'm smart. Okay, well, you have to be accurate to be smart. This is something that registers to you. This is an insider thing to you. This is not something that the masses understand or respect. It isn't. It's just not. So, yes, Toyota does have some sports cars out there that would run you 150, maybe 200,000. Yeah, but the masses don't know it. The masses don't know it. It's a non-factor. So, I mean, it is what it is. This has nothing to do with the quality of it, nothing to do with its reliability, nothing to do with its styling. Go take a look at how much you can buy one for. Who's talking about it? Who's stunting about it? No, sir. Maybe on your street corner, people are turning their heads. Clearly, you've never been to Times Square, Beverly Hills, or any of these other places. Nobody even noticed you were there. So, it is. It's just, yeah. No! But it is. So, that's a real thing. In the chat room, So True needs to give me a call up on Zoom. Let's get up in here. So True needs to give me a call up here on Zoom. Let's go ahead and get him on up here. So True has 2 minutes to be on Zoom. So glad that he's got questions for the host. As I told you all, it is an interactive program. This is an interactive program. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, somebody tell my crackhead mod B1 speech that I've already removed new money. And then when I told y'all I got crackhead mods, I meant just that.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Yeah, so somebody let my crackhead mod know. Jason got rid of that fella damn near 10 minutes ago. So she just put the pipe down. You have 2 minutes. Maybe that was 10 minutes ago. Huh? Y'all know how it is. She probably passed out. You know, she went unconscious and she just regained consciousness. You have 2 minutes. Baby, Jason had to take care of that. He did? He did? He did? Can't believe it. Yeah, y'all got to understand, there's a bunch of mama's boys who are raised in housing projects, and they go on the internet, and everything is about faking it and lying about things. So they talk about cars. They don't know anything about them. They just say things, and then they hope nobody notices. I just want to show you all that you fruit booty mama's boys with the Jolly Rancher G-string thongs on, just understand there's a reason why you incels have to be over there fresh and misfit. There's a reason you have to be over there. Grown folks don't want you around. Grown men don't want clowns like you around. You can't be over here with grown men. We're not here to play with your fantasy life. That's why when you sit up here and say stupid things about cars, I'm going to be like, okay, let's go to Auto Trader right now and see what they're selling for. When you say dumb things about what you guess people's income is, okay, let's go over here to Indeed or Career Builder and see what they're hiring for. Let's go see if that's a true statement. So I'm not the place to sit up here and go ahead and get clown clout. Well, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing clown clout. And I know that hurts your damn feelings, but there's a reason why, like I say, for you, this is really not even an academic exercise. You're not going to be a part of this. You're not a part of this. We're talking about real things here. You want to know what excites people? You want to know what ignites their imaginations and gets them motivated? When you're talking about real stuff. Stuff you can actually do. Not some jackass sitting around talking about Alexis that most people have never heard of. No disrespect at all. I'm just saying things that are false. Okay. Will somebody tell my crackhead mod that I already removed So True also?
Oh, please.
Okay. Y'all just... Yeah, we need some drug counselors is what I need. I need to elevate some drug counselors. I need some drug counselors to email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. So we can put some of my mods through rehab counseling, because obviously they're back and forth in between hitting the pipe. They're looking at the program, but then hitting the pipe, and they just in and out and just they're half hearing stuff and then checking back in when they regain consciousness. He said something. He said his name. Okay, is that? So, yeah, it's that. Yeah, you're damn right. Intervention. Yeah, just y'all are paying more attention than they are. It's just, Jason, where do you find these mods at? Nigga, Skid Row. Can't you tell? Can't you tell? They all came from Skid Row. Hell yeah, just with their Section 8 vouchers in hand, so life is rough on me. In any case, yeah, it's desperate times out here for more than just my mods. It's desperate time out here. It's desperate times out here because the easy money is dried up. When you got the courts telling you, yeah, baby, we ain't giving you no bag. Don't y'all know it's about to get super rough out here? You can't even sit up here and scam up and hustle up on the athlete anymore. You hoes gonna have to get to work.
And deal with it, nigga.
This where we at now. Y'all, the hoes gonna have to get to work out here. They can't just hustle up on the athlete anymore. They can't just do that. They used to be able to just hustle up on the athlete and get a quick bag and sit up here, and then they would disappear. That's how you know that the woman's life is done, when she disappears. If a chick has finally sat up here and found the perfect trick, then you don't hear from them anymore. They kind of just disappear. Ain't that right, Nicole Young? So when they think they made it, they disappear. But if things didn't work out, they go from Nicole Young to Nicole Murphy. What? They do that. So it turns into that situation right there. It turns into that. So they have a big problem with that. It turns into that. It turns into that right there. And so this is going to be a shock to them. This is going to be a shock to them having to hear what that's going to be. They thought it was going to be easy. What do you do when all the easy damn money is over and it's only getting more expensive? What then? What then? Y'all got to understand that. Okay, I don't know. I'm probably going to take a vote here in a moment whether or not my crackhead mod needs to be let off for the night. I don't know, y'all. She is ignoring all of my rules here. Now I'm starting to think, I don't know. I might have to put them back on Skid Row. So I may have a poll tonight whether or not I need to put them back on Skid Row. We got a lot of stuff going on here. So it's a Friday. It must be the first of the month coming up. They're waiting for their welfare checks to show up or whatever. What? So, yeah. They're waiting for that to come up here. So it's problematic. It is problematic. So I might have to hold a poll here tonight to see whether or not I need to put some of the crackheads back on Skid Row. We'll have to see that because you can't keep polluting the chat room. These Instagram chicks need all the women. The women used to be literate and stuff. It's like, they used to be literate. Now it's like crackhead central. You know, it's just, everybody is one stop away from an OnlyFans. What? They're one stop away from that. If you want to, you can go ahead and just email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. You can go ahead and just email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. Just put moderator mods in the search in the subject line. You can just do that. You can just do that if you want to. So just email me at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com. But for the fellas out there, take this as your warning. There's a lot of fellas out there who are making six figures and figuring, you're not relevant. Bro, use a come up today. If you're a guy making $200,000, let me explain to you, in all the major American cities and the hot spots, man, you're a come up, man. You are a come up. These chicks are making $0. Do you understand that? They're making $0. If they can't get some scummy ass club promoter, y'all, these club promoters are straight pimps. What? Damn! Come on now. New York, stand up. Atlanta, stand up. Houston, stand up. Miami, stand up. LA, stand up. Am I lying? Chicago, stand up. These so-called club promoters, man, these dudes are straight pimps, y'all. They are straight up pimps. I mean, whatever is dumb. Okay, they got a maybe cute face, slim waist. Okay, let's inject you with some plastic surgery and got a pocket full of phone numbers of every slut and thought on Instagram trying to come up just for looking cute. These so-called promoters, man, they ain't nothing but straight pimps. And I respect the pimp game. Wait a minute, I ain't hating. I respect the pimp game. Hey, I respect your pimp boots. I'm not hating on it. I respect your pimp boots. But can I just call it for what it is? Can I just call it for what it is? I ain't saying they, put them on the track, though some of them are. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying for these club promoters, man, y'all straight pimping. It's just, y'all got your pimp boots on. And I ain't mad at you. You got your pimp boots on. You got your pimp boots on. So this is one of those things that I want you to understand. This is one of those things I want you to understand is that these chicks are used to the idea that they don't have to work. They're used to the idea that they don't have to work. They're used to the idea they don't have to do anything. And they're looking for the fellow who's going to put them in that position because that's their fantasy. They've looked at a few chicks who were able to do that, and then they didn't look at anything else. They didn't look at anything else. That's what the fantasy is now, is that they're going to sit back and live some voluptuary, lavish lifestyle, and they're not going to have to do anything. They're not going to have to do anything. Now they're all sitting around trying to figure out where to go because the damn bag done dried up. They're sitting around trying to figure out how to make that work in an environment where it's not so easy to do that. It's not so easy to do that. They thought that was just going to roll on forever. Now they're sitting up and seeing that the courts aren't making it as easy to do that. They thought folks were going to be just delivering forever for them and they could just sit back and do nothing. It's back during the salad days. The courts ain't working with you. The social media not working with you. Brittany Renner already told you she's going fishing in her DMs. She's just going fishing in her DMs. And if her DMs don't bring her a sucker, she's like, oh, if I ain't got the advantage, I'm not dealing with it. Isn't that what I always told you? Okay, well, that's where they're at today. They're just going after that. Now, what are you supposed to be doing with that there? What are you supposed to do when you get that dropped on you now? I'm letting the fellas know. They haven't given up wanting their Chanel bags. They haven't given up wanting to have endless vacations. They haven't given up wanting to be taken out to go shopping and take out to eat. They're just trying to figure out who in the world's the trick to do it. The trick pool is running low. Y'all are sitting up here fighting between Future, Lil Baby, and whatever basketball player is dumb enough. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. See if I can get them up over here. I got somebody on Zoom. Okay, we got Orain up here on Zoom. Orain, what's on your mind? Unmute yourself. Don't have an accident. Microphone, lower left-hand corner.
All right, can you hear me, sir?
All right, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I love the broadcast as usual. I was actually just getting into an argument with one of my cousins from last week because she's exactly the type of woman that you are talking about in the program tonight. You know, she has two different children with two different baby daddies. One was supposed to be a arena football player from a couple of years ago, and then she broke up with him after she found out that he wasn't going to make it. Still had a baby by him, though. And there was another one to where she actually had a kid with a DJ in Hartford, Connecticut. You know, that ended, and now she's on to the next one, trying to find her next lick. So I tried to get her to listen to the program tonight, and then she just didn't want to hear it. She actually tuned off. She said it was offensive.
I'm sure this is triggering her trauma. What? I'm sure it's doing that. You know,
Yeah.
They're used to the idea everybody's gonna play along. It's like so obvious. Hey, look, the damn hustling them draws didn't work. It didn't work out. You're running out of an available pool to do that. Everybody sees what it is. And it's just at that point, you're just kind of just smearing and slumming yourself. Now, here's the issue, brother. What kind of lifestyle is she living?
So before she used to sell insurance for State Farm, and then before that, she was a car salesman. Before that, I think she used to work at like at a Starbucks when we were in college. But other than that, she's just always jumping from job to job. She's never really held like a stable job. I think she's doing real estate now. I think that's what she's doing now in Connecticut.
Okay, so let me get this straight. How many athletes she done slept with?
I only know of that one, that football player that was supposed to be in the AFL.
Okay, well, that's the one that she's admitting to. There's probably a few others in there. And at the end of the day, bro, like I say, none of these chicks are living a fabulous life like that. They got stories of getting laid on. A few of them got stories of getting pregnant. Ain't nobody really balling out no more. Nobody's really doing that. And the real issue of it is, remember, you're only going to get that as long as those guys' careers are viable. Soon as that goes downhill, that comes to an abrupt stop. So you don't really have athletes. Your kids are going to be growing up for 18 years, but on average, you're only going to get 5 to 7 years out of an athlete. And that's going to be it. So you're going to have a whole lot more time to raise kids than you are to get the bag from him. When the contract is over, he might get an NFL pension, but that's not going to be $40 million a year. Not even close. That's going to be close to the middle class. So now what are you going to do? And that's where they find themselves. So the real thing is when you come back and check on these chicks later, they ain't living no lavish life in Beverly Hills and just sitting back on that NFL money or NBA money or whatever. It's not doing that. It's not doing that. So it's giving bummy. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, just like I said, I like the program, and what you were saying about the Lexuses, I don't know, I'm at odds with that because I drive a Lotus Emira. I don't know if you know about those cars, but Lotuses are known, in the past, are known for being really unreliable, but it has a Toyota engine.
Well,
And
look,
that was the only reason why.
Lotus, that's fine. Alfa Romeo, there are certain cars that do have a following. I get that. Elon made the first Teslas based on the Lotus, at least, because, I mean, they got great styling to them. That's great. That's wonderful. I need you all to understand Lotuses ain't really a thing, except in a few places. That's the first thing. And beyond that, it's really, everybody knows what they actually cost. So it's not about being down on them. What I'm saying is a Lotus is not a 1/10 of 1% car. It's not. That's not to knock it. I'm not saying that. That's not to knock it. I'm just saying, bruh, how many heads is that turning at All-Star Weekend? How many heads is that turning in the parking lot at the Super Bowl? And that's what these women are looking for. They're looking for a car that does that, because in their heads, they tell them that's what they are. So I'm not dissing the Lexus LFA or any of them. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, let's just be real about it. These chicks want to stunt in Beverly Hills. The cars that are popping on Instagram, they come up in the algorithm like that. And they got the following to show it. You got plenty of videos showing people with their cell phone cameras following the cars and turning their heads when they drive by. And the Lotus, I'm saying it has a following among those who know. However, I would also challenge you. I'm glad you mentioned the Lotus, because I would challenge you to find any females who've posted that car on their timelines. So in reality, these are guy cars. In reality, for men, men know about that, like that and the Supra. Those are men. The Audi R8, stunning looking car, and I guess that one turns heads, sure, because Iron Man drove it. But these are guy cars in reality. So it's not about what appeals to us. I'm asking, okay, what appeals to everybody? So sure, they'll notice it, and a Lotus definitely looks different. But I don't think if your Lotus is driving by in one direction and a Ferrari Portofino is driving by in the other direction, I'm pretty sure I know which one the cameras will be following.
Yeah.
No shade, no disrespect. I'm just saying, I'm just dealing with the numbers now. Thank you very much for giving us a call now. We appreciate that. No shade, no disrespect, just dealing with the numbers of it. So it's cool. Hey, fellas, go get your Toyota Supra, go get your Lexus, go do your thing, go get your Elise. Go ahead and do that. No shade, no hating on you. Do what you do. Do what you do. But I'm just saying, let's be honest about where these things rank at. You can love those things. I'm not getting any heads. I mean, when a new Escalade comes out, whenever the Escalade is new, it turns heads. After about a year, it doesn't really do it anymore. Okay. Still own it. Still own it. All right, it doesn't turn heads. All right. That's cool. That's fine. Got some stuff that does, but it doesn't have to. I just don't want fellas getting in their feelings about it. It's not about disrespecting. It's just like, okay, I get it. There's certain cars out there and they got their niche, but she's talking about a stunt mobile. Okay. Is a Lotus Elise going to be a stunt mobile? Because that's what she's looking for. She wants the Hermes of cars. She wants the Prada of cars. Because remember, she wants everything to match. Although, curiously enough, they want everything to match except the way that they look. What? So, the car is in the top 10th of 1%, and the female is a straight foe. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. No. That's not a cheat code except for guys. That's not a cheat code. Just folks, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Fellas who don't really talk to people, they don't get out, they don't really speak to other human beings, and then they just post what they like and then can't figure out why it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, man, you have an algorithm. I meant what I said. Go see whatever car you want to name, just go see how many females are bragging about having it or bragging about wanting it. There are no females lined up to get your Hellcat. There are no females lined up for that. They looking at something else. So you can be an aficionado of whatever you like, but don't be false. Don't try to false flag and play dumb with everybody else. We want reliable information. So just like a lot of these females are very immature, a lot of these guys out here are very immature too. They're very immature also. So they're saying things, but you better not go out and go try to do it because it doesn't actually work. It doesn't actually work. Sure, Porsche can work if she's a Porsche girl. So there's a lot of girls out there who are. Porsches will work if they are a Porsche female. But it's going to depend. So if she's a Porsche female, sure. It's been my experience that those are limited markets, so Miami, a bit of it in Atlanta, a bit of it in LA. But as far as it being mass market, not really. But it can be. It can be. You can do a whole lot worse. For those who can't really get a McLaren or a Ferrari or something, Porsche is the fallback position. So there's a lot of that. So the chick who is working to get her weight up, we'll see. Now, here's the issue. Eventually, she's going to start. Eventually, if she looks it up on Instagram, it's going to take exactly 2 seconds before it goes from 911 to GT3. So don't expect her to sit at 911 very long, because they're always going to try to go get the top of the ladder, and the algorithm is going to feed it to them. So even if you do start them on the 911, I'm just letting you know, if she goes to Instagram, it's going to be exactly 2.3 seconds before Instagram starts flooding her with the GT3. Then all of a sudden, she's going to start yelling at you about GT3. It's going to become that. So just be aware of that. That's if you want to play for it. That's if you want to play the game for that. Oh, there's one more thing I want to discuss here. Well, I want to discuss something else. There's something else I want to discuss from what Brittany Renner said. I want to deal with something else that Brittany said, because she said something that I really think needs to be addressed. I think it really needs to be addressed, but okay. Let me go ahead and get to that. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Let me jump over here on Zoom right quick and get Prince up here real quick. All right, Prince, what's on your mind?
Yeah, brother. What is the catalyst that caused this current drought when it comes to the women? It just seems like they're dropping like flies. They're not getting the response financially from men that they thought they would get. What I know you say there are factors such as the court system, or the producers just not committing to them. Is it you put out the numbers as far as, you've been very on point with that, but what is it that's just got them where they're just helpless?
The baby boomer generation was the last really generation that could run that little hustle, run through Johnny Carson's money or whatever. Dudes are getting more savvy. We used to only have 2 financial epicenters in America, New York and LA. However, What's happened now is you got a lot of folk in other states now. So the major money from these high income earners has shifted to other places. Georgia, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. So the females are having to go there. It used to be that you could just wait for the athletes to show up in California. Them fellas are hip to the game now. They're hip to it. So fellas are actually watching their money, and they're avoiding New York and California. They're avoiding them. So it shouldn't be surprising that the only guys that they're catching are the ones who are retired. Right. So if you can marry him and he retires in California, gotcha, nigga. But for these young fellas, they're actually making a conscious decision to avoid California. The word is out. So they're and they can get their bags somewhere else. The defending NBA champions is that that's the Knicks, I think it is.
I don't know.
Before then, what was it? Houston, I think it was. And so think about that for a few moments. You got NBA championship teams out of Houston and Oklahoma. So he can make $50-60 million and never have to come near New York or California.
Right.
And with their bias systems there. So that's the real thing that's changed, is bigger bags in areas where you can actually protect it. Which is why all these hoes, he got us hoes! You sure are.
And deal with it, nigga.
All these hoes are trying to sit up here, and I just mean bottom of the barrel scummy. Hey, can I find a corrupt judge in California to just give me this and take jurisdiction? And this shows you how desperate they are. So there's the real issue. There's the real issue.
What is Brittany Renner going to get in Mississippi? What producer she going? What's
In
she going
Ocean Springs, no, brother, she's just living with kinfolk there. That's where she's got to be. Her Hail Mary was trying to get a lawyer in California to give her something. That was the Hail Mary. The lawyers in California tried it, and just like I told y'all, when the judge smacked that mess down and said, yeah, we're not doing this. When they said that, that was a wrap. The lawyers were gone. The lawyers were gone. She gave them a little old penny in the ass little retainer, which wasn't no money. And they were just like, okay, if the judge does not give us a date to go forward, we're out. And then they just tried one last thing. Hey, Your Honor, can you get PJ Washington to pay her legal fees? Wow. And the judge was like, yeah, we ain't doing that neither. And the lawyers were like, heifer, you on your own. And now she's down there in Mississippi trying to use ChatGPT to file her own motions, which I predict are going to go just as successfully as her little scam in California went. It's going to be just as successful.
Why do you think the court system is starting to change?
I don't think the court system is changing. What I'm thinking is that the females have become so blatant. What they're doing is saying, let me just get pregnant, and then I want the system to do the rest. The laws say what the rules are. These hoes are getting pregnant and then going straight to child support court. They're not even waiting 2 or 3 years so that you domicile in a place. These are big words for hoes. Domicile. They're not domiciling so that this place has jurisdiction because of your residency. So they're not even establishing residency because the guys won't be residents there is the issue. So the hoes are looking to get residency, and so she goes out to California, but he's not going with you. And since that's the case, you're failing to establish residency because he's not going to let you scam him. And so you end up having to go to California and try to bogart your way through something, and that's what's not working. These hoes don't actually know the rules. And these guys are not really doing what's necessary to cooperate in order to give them standing, to give them legal standing in these places. So PJ Washington gave her legal standing in North Carolina, but she has no legal standing in California, and nobody told her that. So add to that these are a bunch of whacked out bipolar hoes. Take a look at all them chicks that Zion Williams got pregnant. These are crazy, whacked out, slutty broads. And they're going to court with their bipolarism is what they're doing. And the court system is kind of crazy too. And I guess if you find a bipolar judge, what you're finding is there's not enough bipolar judges to help y'all run this scam. They're out there. They're still out there. Don't get me wrong. There's not enough of them so that you can really make this a lifestyle. The women that they're thinking about were women who got married, women who had children long term. That's really what that was.
But these women can't get no commitments like that.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're looking at women who actually did get that. They're looking at women who actually did get that. And so that's what I'm saying. These are dense little bimbo broads. Hello, Brittany Renner. They don't know the rules. They think that the world is as crazy as they are. They're doing a bunch of wild, crazy stuff because they're desperate.
Yes.
Baby, you don't really qualify. What you're hoping is you'll find a judge who'll break the rules. That's what they're really hoping for. Brittany and Aisha and the rest of these hoes, they're hoping for a judge that will break the rules for her because she is in dire, desperate straits.
And as more and more of these women are coming forward, what do you predict happening? They're just going to have to downgrade and take whatever position they can get with a man, or they're just going to totally crash out now?
This is the crash out. Take a look at Brittany Renner. She's broadcasting live from her Mercedes C-Class.
What?
I mean, this is the crash out. Take a look at Aisha Howard. They've made asses of themselves because this was okay. Here's the way it ran, and I want y'all to. I've jumped on this about Diddy because I want you all to understand what the damn scam is. You have a bunch of lawyers out here who they're angry, bitter. A lot of them are white supremacists. That's the truth.
Yes.
And they're looking to use the judicial system to shake down some black men. But the rules still apply. They're looking for a quick bag. In the legal world, a quick bag is 6 to 12 months. That's about as much of his time as he's willing to invest in it. Otherwise, you got him working way too hard on contingency. Because remember, while PJ Washington is fighting him, he's not getting paid if he's taking on contingency. So they'll give her a little rope for contingency to see if, okay, let's threaten him and tell him that if he don't pay us a couple of million, let's do the extortion ransom note. You better pay us a few $1 million or we're going to go public and make a bunch of accusations. And, oh, you got a contract coming up. We're going to get real messy. And you don't want us getting messy on that, do you? So it's really about threatening you. And they check to see if that will work. Well, that's not working anymore. Guys are just like, yeah, let's get it on. Let's fight. So that's not working. So then they end up having to file the cases. The cases are really thin, and he's on a 6-month timeline. So these females are thinking they got Johnny Cochran and the dream team. It's like, baby, no, you have a lawyer who's fishing for a quick payday. As soon as he realizes this will neither be quick nor easy, he's heading for the exits, and you're just going to be sitting there. That's the dynamic that is new to them now. That part right there.
And what confuses me, why do you think I'm seeing in more and more cases, the judges are reducing child support, giving less in some cases? What do you think that's about?
Well, because it becomes so blatant, I think it's become so blatant. It would be different if these females had standing, but they don't, and they don't have California court and New York court to lean on for it. That's the real thing. They're outside of the domain of the crazy Republic of California and New York. They're outside of that now. And which is why all of them have so desperately tried to get the cases in California and New York. And I think in some cases this is offensive to the judges in California because you can see what's going on here. So if you are really a serious judge, you take your profession seriously. And when you see somebody trying to use the system for a scam, that's going to be offensive to you. That's because that's not what the law is for. The law is not for we running a scam over here. And I think in some cases, the judges are doing what they're supposed to do and shutting that down. Your kid is going to be just fine on $3,500 a month. He will be just fine on $40,000 a year, especially considering the fact that you are the custodial parent and you ain't earning nothing. Now, there's the real thing. What kind of lifestyle are you living, ma'am? Because what you're trying to do is shoehorn the court to give you de facto alimony so that you can live this man's lifestyle. Well, the baby needs it. Okay, and you get to tag along with the kid. No, let's go get a house for the kid and you sit your ass where you're at and you get by how you live. Oh, I want to be there too. So they're trying to use the courts to turn alimony into child support into de facto alimony. And what they're finding is that there are so many of you doing it so blatantly and so egregiously that you're now busting the hustle.
Yes.
You're busting the hustle for everybody. Brittany don't give a damn. This is what I mean by they're desperate. She doesn't care if she's screwing it up for everybody else. She's like, hey, I need the money now. So I don't give a damn if this kills it for everybody. I got to go for it because I'm in dire straits. These hoes are busting every hoe's hustle now.
Tyrese ex, she was trying to use it to get, from what he was saying, she was trying to use it to get alimony, child support as a form of alimony. And brother, what would you say to young men now if they say, I want to get married, Jason? If they listen to you and got their weight up, they say they want to get married and have children. Would there be certain states you say they should be very weary of going to? What would you say? If they got
I'm very glad that you mentioned that because there are some rules to that. Certainly there are certain states you need to avoid. But number one thing is vetting period. Did you give enough time? Do you know this chick? Because niggas off laying with chicks at the club and then getting them pregnant. So this is a car wreck waiting to happen. Look, if you're so stupid that you're willing to go through all this mess with chicks, you deserve all the misery in court you're going to inevitably encounter. Did you give her 2 or 3 years to get to know her before you even started thinking about marriage? That is proper vetting time. Or did you jump into it because you're so dog ass desperate to have regular, reliable sexual access that now you're just being stupid? Next up, have you done your due diligence? Have you made sure that she's a proper fit? Have you asked all the proper questions? Where do you come from? I'm not talking about just her dad. Where do you come from? What's your attitude about money? What's your sexual history? I mean, the whole damn thing. I need body count numbers. All the questions that you start asking and agonizing over after she pulls a fast one and gets over on your ass. All those questions. You need to ask all those things up front. Were you in your 20s sleeping with dudes in their 40s and 50s? What? What's that body count? Have you slept with some girls? Have you ever slept with a nigga for money? These are things you need to know up front. No, well, she doesn't look like she would. Look like she would my ass. Did you ask all these things? And then did you follow up with it? Have you ever cheated on anybody? Have you ever made a false allegation? Better yet, has anybody ever said you made a false allegation? Not did you make one. Has anybody ever accused you of doing that? These are questions that's your due diligence. So if you haven't done that, you're already messing up. And most guys are jumping off and getting into marriage and don't know who the hell they're marrying, which means you're taking it on faith that they are going to be honorable. Okay, you don't know they're honorable. You're just taking it on faith they're honorable. In the chat room, T. Orlando, it doesn't matter about them lying. Proper questioning is how you deal with that. We've already dealt with that. Okay, you're late. We've already dealt with that. That's why I said you follow up. Because the problem with lying is they won't have the same lie twice. When you ask them a bunch of questions, they're not going to have the same lie twice. You're supposed to know that. So if you fellas, it's not you ask one question. No, that's why I gave you a string of questions. They're not going to be able to lie. They're not going to remember what they said. And they're not going to remember what you remember either. They don't know what you remember. They don't remember what they said, and they don't know what you remember. That's why when you come back repeatedly, stories fall apart. If you only do it once, dummy, well, then guess what? You didn't listen to what I said. Exactly. So without doing that, that doesn't work. Did you get her to pay tribute? What? Damn! Giving y'all the whole damn rundown tonight. Did you get her to pay tribute, or was it all money in, no money out for her? Did you sit up here and do all money in, no money out? So there's the issue.
Is that something?
There's the problem.
About the tribute, do you make it clear to her and you sit back and watch?
Okay, I have a very simple way of dealing with tribute. You ask a chick what's her love language. Now, when she starts talking about you and gifts and whatnot, it's like, okay, so money is one of your love languages. Okay, is that a one-way street for you, or is that a two-way street?
Oh, I love that kind of talk.
Okay, ma'am, you like nice things, okay? That's your love language, is nice things. Do you think that I like nice things? We've already covered those. That's supposed to be a love language, and is this a two-way street? Okay, the two-way street's supposed to have nice things traffic. That means there's traffic on your side and there's traffic on my side. And when I start, I'm going to only say one time to you, I noticed that, by the way, there's only one-way traffic around here. However, for a man, there should be no traffic unless she's earned it.
Yes.
So I'm going over all the rules with y'all right now for you new folk around here who've been listening to Fresh and Misfit and Rolo Tomasi and don't know what don't have a real framework or a prescription, just a bunch of people talking in circles with nonsense. There's supposed to be a clear metric you use. The simple fact of the matter is that there's supposed to be two-way traffic, and if there is not, you don't do that. But you only buy gifts for a female for what she has already done, fellas. You do not buy her gifts speculating and prospecting for value she will get later, because that's you guessing. You only buy gifts for what she's already done. You can go buy her a $500 pair of shoes if she has given you $500 of value, resourcefulness, insight, femininity, so on and so forth. So she gets that for what she's already done. You don't do that and then, okay, here's $1,000 now. Let's see if you're worth it. Remember, I did that. That's not the way that works. That's where fellas get it wrong. That's what makes you a simp, is when you are trying to purchase respect. If she respects you, these hoes are sitting up and paying Chris Brown $1,100 and he's not sleeping with or going with none of them. These are chicks who are married and got boyfriends and they paying Chris Brown. So how is it this supposed to be your woman and she's giving you less than what they're giving Chris Brown? And yet You got all money in, no money out. So fellas, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. So you don't feel some kind of way if you give her something for something she's already earned. You feel some kind of way when you gave it speculating and then never got a return. Yeah. So if she values you, that's going to be something she's showing you up front with no malice, no resentment, none of that garbage. She's going to be doing that up front. If she's not, yeah, you're the designated sucker.
And Jace, she's going to be observant. I remember a young lady I was dating at Privy. I love the purple colors. I said, I like y'all colors. She bought me the nicest PV shirt, Privy University shirt. Man, and you were saying once before that a young lady, one of the ladies you did with, she listened to you and she got you something based on. See, if a woman cares about you, she listens to what you says and she make moves based on that.
Right, but the problem is that most males today are dealing with hoes. Most females have slid themselves out, and fellas are completely disregarding the fact she's hitting you with hoe behavior and hoe logic and hoe tactics. Fellas don't want to actually admit the fact that most of the females that they're with don't even like you. She's with you because she has to be there. And what she does is start taxing you. And by that, I mean she starts extracting value and starts extracting resources from the beginning. So she comes in the door demanding to extract from you. Yeah, because she doesn't even really like you or want to be with you. And if you are refusing to acknowledge that and accept that, that becomes a problem. Now on to the next thing. Fellas, you're supposed to go take them to go get their shots. If you're not interested in having children over the course of being with her, you're supposed to make sure that children will not be a part of the equation. This is a place that goes deeper than anybody else. We've already covered this for weeks. I got to do it again. Fellas, ain't supposed to be no damn oos babies. You're supposed to take her for her depot shot. You're supposed to go take her for her IUD, for her Norplant. You do not sit up here and listen to take her word for it. So all I can say is that you are a sucker waiting if you do that. So you go take them for that and make sure they cannot get pregnant. We're not working on the honor system here. If you're not interested in being a father during the vetting period, you're supposed to make sure of that. Well, Jason, how do I make sure of that? You're going to the doctor with her. You will be sitting right there when she's doing that. And you will have her tell the doctor, yes, I want him sitting right here for the whole thing. For all results of everything, I want you to email the both of us, him and me. Send them separately. I'm giving you my email. Here's his email. You send all correspondence to both of us. Not just me, both of us. See, fellas, when you deal in real business, you get all that out the way. Fellas want to sit up here and have a hoe running through the damn ringer for 2 or 3 years and then figure you're going to do all this on the back end. No, you're supposed to do all this walking in the front door. And if she balks at any of this, leave her ass on the roadside for pickup. This is not an argument, Prince. Just listen. In any case, you put them on the roadside for pickup. That's what you do. But we do not fight about getting this due diligence done. So if you're not interested in being a father, and you damn sure shouldn't be, then you make sure that she cannot get pregnant, and she's supposed to be making sure that she doesn't get pregnant because you're not interested in being a dad. If she fights over that, we don't do that. And that's why a couple of the options I gave you all, maybe she can undo an IUD. She can't undo the other two without you knowing. So once she does that procedure, she's in. And then you make sure that she stays into it. And if you even get an inkling that she wishes to undo it, we're done. This is not guesswork. This is due diligence. This is not you guessing that she's doing what needs to be done or that you're protecting yourself. This is you making sure you're protecting yourself. Now let's move to the next thing here. Everybody talks about prenups, but you see, you're getting these damn things wrong. And lately, some new information has come to me that's made me kind of rethink some of these things, and I think it's kind of interesting. There was a rumor, even though I think it's unsubstantiated, but there was a rumor that Taylor Swift, was wanting to put in like a clause that said that Travis Kelce has to, if they get divorced because of cheating, then she gets a $20 million penalty. Damn! Now, that's just a rumor, and it's really unsubstantiated. I don't think it's true or whatever. It's certainly, I'm not saying that's a real thing. What I am saying is that if it's legal, if that's legal, then fellas need to stop talking stupid about prenups and start talking like that. They need to start talking like that. Okay, well, in the prenup there, by the way, if she's cheating or doing other things that violate your willingness to enter into this arrangement, we need to start talking about penalties. We need to start talking about that. To Orlando, stop lying. Okay, I'm not even going to be nice about this. Just stop lying. Prenups do not get set aside all the time. Either that or you're not very good at writing prenups. No disrespect. Prenups by a competent lawyer that have been handled competently do not get set aside. That's an internet meme told by a bunch of folk who ain't even in the damn courtroom. So let's stop that nonsense. And if you want me to, I can bring you some lawyers that actually deal with that. But for those of you who don't even deal with it, no, that's not a real thing. That's a lie. So let's just stop that folk hit the damn pipe and then get in my comment section and just start typing stuff, trying to sound like they're smart. That's not a real thing. If you have done your due diligence and dealt with case law, you do the things that are necessary. So as long as you're not trying to throw a prenup on them a week before, no, prenups do not get set aside if you're dealing with a lawyer that actually deals with prenups. If you're dealing with some fly-by-night slip-and-fall attorney trying to guess their way through it, yeah, I can understand that would be an issue. But the internet's full of experts who don't know anything. T. Orlando, I said what I said, and that's why I said for attorneys who actually deal with it. That's not a true statement that you're making. That's a lie. Now, if you don't know anything, that's fine. I can bring you some attorneys who will educate you if you would like that. I have a divorce attorney up in New York. If you'd like me to, I can bring him on and he can educate you about that. But there's nobody who says that kind of nonsense who actually deals with them. So no, you don't deal with them. Or as I said, if you're not very good at this kind of law, I understand that. If you're not very good, then I'm sure you get set aside all the time. But for folks who actually know what they're doing, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That happens on the internet with people who are not very good. Otherwise, you would have a name that we recognize. So, no. If an attorney actually knows what they're doing with a prenuptial agreement, that's not an issue. The only time you hear, and by the way, you don't hear about folk getting prenups set aside all the time either. That's an internet meme. You don't see anybody talking about, man, I had a prenup and it got set aside. You don't hear that. So like I say, this is the internet. Look, y'all, it's Friday night. They getting they drink. They hit the blunt, and they just start saying stuff. So, but the bottom line is, in the adult world, that's not the kind of thing that happens. In the adult world, if you have an attorney who is versed and trained and seasoned experience, and this is what they do, they tell you all the things to not do so that your prenup doesn't get busted. So when you take a look at what happened with John Cena, when you take a look at what's happened with all these other folk, when you take a look at what's happened with Diddy, ain't nobody been able to bust Diddy's NDAs.
No.
Nobody's been able to bust Diddy's NDAs. So just understand it. Everybody claims to be a legal eagle on the internet, and then you ask them for their court cases and you can't find nothing. So I'll just leave that there. No disrespect, but if you're gonna sit up here and say stuff that's just patently false, I gotta put the backstop on it. But on the internet, everybody's a legal eagle, but you ask them for their cases and they can't bring you anything. So no cases, no significant court actions, no anything. So we got to make that the standard right there. Prince, if you keep jumping up to interrupt me.
Go ahead, Floyd. You know my mind. I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, Prince, you go ahead and speak now, and then I'm gonna finish up with you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Prince.
Okay, so look, with the lawyer thing, even if you don't have a prenup, you have to agree to the terms. The divorce would go on forever. The first thing they send you to is mediation. So in certain states, if you spend money on an affair, like I think South Carolina and certain ones, that's the law there, that no alimony, and then you could sue for alienation of affection. I think in North Carolina, some of these states. So they have rules in place that depend on what state you're in, they can be in a bind by the way they act.
Okay, they can definitely do that. Thank you for giving us a call tonight, Prince. Okay, they're hyper tonight, y'all. I gotta host my program here because this is important while I got folks here to get all this lined up when I have an opportunity to go down the whole rundown. When you have a prenup, you need to have clauses in there that do that. You need to have clauses in there. I think that's something that men need to start pursuing, is making sure they have clauses in there. Because, for example, how many fellas in here got married and your wife and her family paid for the wedding?
Nigga, what?
Folks, you do understand that you know, the woman and her family are supposed to pay for the wedding, right? For those of you who did not know that. The woman is supposed to pay for the wedding. So when I see a damn $500,000 wedding, I'm like, nigga, I know that heifer didn't pay for it. Fellas are out here getting married, paying for their own weddings, paying for their own honeymoons. I'm like, wait a minute. You got her, brother, you don't even know the damn rules. You don't even know the custom. Folks, for those of you who did not know, in a wedding, the woman, the bride, is supposed to pay for the wedding. Niggas getting married every damn day and ain't paid for nothing. Or when she does pay for it, she takes out a damn payday loan. What? She done got a bunch of cheesy, flimsy stuff from damn me Party City. Okay, but for you got to roll out the red carpet and go into $500,000 of debt and every damn thing else. But for her, okay, I got some stuff from the party aisle at Walmart. Here you go. Now, where's my house and where's my Bentley? So, buddy, if she wasn't willing to pay for a damn meal, I know she ain't paying for a wedding. It doesn't matter if it's the, okay, like I say, folks, Google everything I'm saying here tonight. The internet's a place where folks just make things up. It doesn't have to be the father of the bride. It just needs to be paid for by the bride or her family, not necessarily by the father. What my point is, the groom and his family ain't supposed to be footing the bill. Not for a wedding. That's not supposed to be coming from the groom side of the family. That's supposed to be coming from the bride's side, not the groom. Not the groom. There's where the issue comes in. We got too many males out here being gaslit and not even checking this stuff, and the chick will tell you what she can't do. Okay, you're taking on all the damn financial burden. You're not even telling her what you expect. You're not even telling them that. Okay, but when the damn marriage goes south or the relationship goes south, these will be the first things you'll start bringing up. Fellas want to bring this stuff up when things go bad. Men are willing to go into endless debt if things are going well. Okay, but if it goes bad, all of a sudden he starts asking about these things. Why didn't we ask about this in the first place? And in addition to having a prenup, I think that fellas need to start looking at penalty clauses. Now, I think that that's something very interesting and very good to be looking at is, by the way, because if you get divorced or whatever, the court's going to want to start leveling penalties. Okay, if we got a prenup here, we need to start discussing penalty clauses. I'm just saying, I think that's an area of exploration that is worthy of our investigation. When you start saying things like that, it's like, okay, that would be interesting to have. Because the problem is females are getting married for free. They're getting married on your dime. They're getting married at your expense. And then fellas are angry and salty and bitter later because your willingness to blow a bunch of money didn't obligate her to anything. And I'm just like, well, how much obligation did she demonstrate at the start? She didn't demonstrate anything. I paid the whole load. Well, no wonder. It was all benefit for her and no liability. When you start interjecting saying, okay, we're both going to be taking on liabilities if anybody tries to double cross, then you find out if she really wants you. You really want that. That's what you're looking for. Orlando, fortunately, there are 49 other states. I mean, if you want to know how much folk don't know, congratulations. And there are 49 other states. Even if your statement is accurate, and I have real questions about that, I'm not even saying it's accurate, but even if it were, there's 49 other states. Just saying. So I know it's when there's a bunch of folk who get around, there's some people just want to, hey, see me. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Hey, can y'all see me? Hey, is this thing on? Okay, I get it. But no, it's, can I be seen? I want attention. I get it. So in addition to all that right there, fellas need to start having those kind of things in place. When you start from the beginning with that makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference when you do that. That makes a huge difference when you do that. Most guys are missing that. Most guys are missing that, and they're walking out here. They're not demanding anything. They're not expecting anything. They're looking for the state to be whatever his definition of reasonable is in his mind. You didn't enter into this saying, okay, how could this go bad? And let me deal with all of that first. Let me deal with all that up front, not on the back end. Let me deal with that on the front end. Those are things that are not being dealt with. You just looking at them butt cheeks and thinking about your chance, or it's finally my turn. And that's not what's occurring. That's not what's occurring. So those are the things that are going south on that. Those are the things that are going south on that. These folks here are not really sure about those things. If you haven't given it time, you haven't gotten to know them, you haven't made them sacrifice anything. No, you just walking in like, well, baby, if I take care of this here, you gonna do right by me, ain't you? And it's taking their word for it, and then you're finding out it's like, dude, men need to be honest with themselves. Females do not believe in keeping their word. What? When you come to talking about keeping your word on a handshake or something, women don't operate that way. There's a reason why women don't loan each other money. Women don't loan each other money. They look at men, the way men spend, as stupid in their eyes. Women don't loan each other money. Women don't take care of each other. They don't extend anything to each other financially. They go looking for a man to do that. But women don't take care of women. Women don't support other women. Hell, we've already covered this. On their birthdays, women don't buy each other any expensive gifts. On Valentine's Day, they don't buy anything. Anniversary, women don't gift each other expensive things. They don't buy each other anything. If they go on a vacation, they expect every hoe to pay her own bills.
And deal with it, nigga.
Think about that for a few moments, fellas. When your chick goes on a girl's trip, it's every woman for herself. But if she goes with you, she expects you to pay for the both of y'all. And if you have a ball in time, she expects both of y'all to have a ball in time. Think about that for a few moments. If she's having a ball in time, she expects that. She expects that. And by the way, some of y'all need to check your Georgia law. By the way, some of y'all need to check your Georgia law. I'm just going to leave that here tonight. It's my job to make sure there's not a bunch of disinformation. Folks, check your Georgia law. We covered this before about Texas. Folk talking about Texas caps child support. Actually, no, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. But, okay. Gross misunderstanding of what Texas law actually says. It does not actually cap child support. Not the way you're telling yourself. If you actually read the statute, you'll see what it actually says. But if you think the government is going to give you some ironclad way to protect your income at all times and not give themselves a loophole, you clearly have not been paying attention to lawyers or law. Same thing in Georgia. So I would just say, if for those of you who are not up to date on your contract law in Georgia, you might want to go actually read a statute or two. It'll be fascinating elucidation. Look it up. So do you all realize how much of what I just said is not a handshake deal or working on the honor system? Do you realize how much of what I just said is actually literally something you can write down, you can look, you can see, you can measure? Did you realize that? Now let me go to the next thing here, because this goes in particular. Y'all notice that Brittany Renner was complaining. Let me get into that right quick. Brittany was complaining, and she was complaining that, remember, she was talking about when she was driving the Bentley. Then she started complaining and talking about, well, actually, when we broke up, he kept the Bentley because the Bentley was in his name. So I guess it wasn't mine after all. Excuse me. Now, see, here's where fellas end up letting themselves get shamed and gaslit. And you got to understand, females can't beat your ass with their hands. So, ladies, you know I'm telling the truth right now. We got to read the mail. I got to read the mail. Women can't beat your ass with their hands. So what they instead focus on doing is seeing if they can whip your ass with a sentence, whip your ass with a guilt trip, or whip your ass with a pen. That's what they focus on. Maybe I can't whip your ass with my fists, but let me see if I can whip your ass with a slick thought. Can I whip your ass with a guilt trip? Can I whip your ass with a pen? With a statement? Can I do that? Well, this part right here goes under whip your ass with a thought. Can I whip your ass with some slick thought that sounds like it makes sense, but only if you're looking at it from just one side and do not look at it as a two-way street? Let me explain what I mean. Case in point. Hey, fellas, and to the ladies listening. Hey, ladies, when you're with your man, even if he's your husband, hey, ladies, do you belong to you or do you belong to him?
What? Damn!
Hey, ladies, for those of you who are married or if you're in a committed long-term relationship, I got a question. Look at your man right now and tell him, who do those butt cheeks belong to? Do they belong to him or do they belong to you? I want you to look him in his face and tell him who they belong to so that he is very clear about exactly what your idea is of what he's getting. Now, I want you to look him in his face and say, oh no, this belongs to me. I can pick it up and take it away whenever I want. I didn't say for her to answer it to herself. I said, tell the man this. Whatever this answer is, tell him that this is the answer so that you and he are clear on exactly what it is that he's actually getting. Because you see, if nothing that he does for you belongs to him, and if nothing about you belongs to him, and if he's only getting access to you,
Damn!
well, you see, if your perspective on the relationship is that he doesn't actually own anything, he doesn't actually possess anything, he just has access to you. He just has access. Now, if that's your perspective, I'd like for you to look at your husband or your boyfriend and tell him that. Say it like that. Say to him, you don't own anything over here. You just have access. Now, ladies, if that's what it really is, then you need to just go ahead and come on out and say, that's what it really is. That as far as you're concerned, he can pay all the bills, buy all the cars, do whatever he wants to. Everything that you have belongs to you. However, nothing belongs to him. And certainly there isn't anything that you have that he can get up and walk off with tomorrow. As I said, fellas, they try to front load their resources and say, well, if I get up and leave tomorrow, these are all the things I get to go with me, because I'll be damned if I'm going to be in a relationship and leave empty-handed. She has no problem telling you that you're going to leave empty-handed. These are conversations that have to be had and solidified at the beginning. Hey, ma'am, are we both putting skin in the game? Or is this just both of us are here transacting access? Now, if she feels like you are getting complete, full, I don't want to say compensation, but you're getting complete and full fulfillment simply by her giving you access that she can revoke at any time, then how is this any different? Explain to me how this is different. It's like, ma'am, isn't your body a whole lot more serious than a car? Well, yeah, it is. Okay, then shouldn't the rules for you and the car be the same? How are you going to have a far stricter rule for a car than you have for yourself? Fellas, that's logic. That's how you prevent your dumb ass from getting whooped with a pen. Don't let her tell you you're not a car. I just answered it. No, you're a lot more important than a car. And yet you're putting a far more strict rule on the car than you're putting on yourself. You want to make a far stricter rule for a car than you want to make for yourself. So what is the rule that's equally binding on you and the car? Shouldn't the rule for the car be much looser than the one for you? And yet you're saying that the car should have a higher obligatory factor than you do. So, no, I've thought it over, and I'm just saying this is all the same right here. So, are we discussing ownership or are we discussing access? And am I the only one who facilitates ownership of anything? And you're just allowing access. So, folks, what I'm saying is that when you deal with all this stuff up front, that's what makes a difference. Fellas, if a chick done bought you a Bentley, she ain't going nowhere.
And deal with it, nigga.
In the chat room, Harriet needs to give me a call on Zoom. Harriet needs to give me a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes here, so my mods put the crack pipes down. Harriet needs to give me a call up on Zoom. By the way, fellas, one more thing. Remember, these are conversations that males have after the relationship has gone bad, after the relationship has gone sour, after everything's gone to hell. Then all of a sudden, guys become probing and inquisitive and interrogatory. Guys do this after it's gone bad. Okay, why are we not having these discussions when things are at the beginning? Why don't you find out what her real attitude is and real position is from the beginning, and then give it time to see if she actually stands by it and it actually plays out that way? There's the problem. Okay, she can run her mouth all she wants to. Once she's told you what her alleged positions are, and you are fully within your rights to write it down, Write it down, record it, whatever. And then when you come back later, hey, you know, you said a bunch of things, but you're not keeping up your end of the deal. You said that these are the principles you live by, and yet you're not doing any of them. You see, that's how you prevent yourself from getting 10 years down the road with 4 kids and a big ass house, because you spent 10 years speculating that eventually she's going to give you $2 or $3 million worth of reciprocal value, and you never got it. She just took all the value you handed up and just front loaded it and walked off with it. This is how you prevent that from happening. Fellas, if a chick buys you a Bentley, she ain't going nowhere. If a chick goes, that's why she wants you to pay for her medical schooling, her plastic surgery, her car, because she knows if you go into debt, you ain't going nowhere. If you do that, she's got all the leverage. Fellas, if she's got to pay for the cars and she has to pay for your glow up, she's not going anywhere. People pay for what they value. And once they pay for it, they expect to get their value. Brother, if she invests that much in you, which is why she's trying to get it from you, she's not going nowhere. She is not going anywhere. She is not going to sit up here and give you a glow up and then talk about, I'm not happy, I'm leaving. I just don't feel fulfilled. You don't get that kind of talk when a woman done had to break bread, when a woman's done had to pay tribute, when a woman has had to see to it that you done leveled up. She's not going anywhere. That's for the little slick hoes that fellas sit up here and trick off on and throw things on the front end. Those chicks can leave because they didn't put anything in. There's the serious issue. Hey man, she didn't put nothing in. That's why she has no problem skipping down to the divorce lawyer's office. Bruh, she didn't put nothing in. She didn't put anything in. She didn't contribute anything. You thought getting XXX rated sex from her was a serious commitment.
Nigga, please.
I wish fellas would stop that garbage. Fellas, please get this through your damn heads. I know this is a brutal thing to think about. Man, women wouldn't have crazy ass body counts if sex had the value to them that they keep trying to pressure you into thinking it does. If sex was really this special thing to women, they wouldn't be out here having crazy ass body counts and sleeping with dudes in their DMs and sleeping with athletes. They say that garbage to you. That's not something they believe. They want you to put a high value on it because that's all they want to give. Chicks will sit up here and have sex with you before they give you money. What? Females will sit up here and have sex with you all week before she spends $1 on you. She's like, hell, why should I spend any money? Sex is free. I can give him that without having to do no effort or work. I don't have to give up my bank account. Women consider sex to be a slush fund, pardon the expression. So no, fellas, please get that out of your head, that has some tremendous value to her. And no, a female will have sex before she gives up money. When she got to start splitting bills and start paying money, now she's like, oh, wait a minute. Now she takes that seriously. Now she's angry. Now she's vindictive. Ain't that right, Anne-Marie Wiley?
Damn!
Yeah, as soon as Marcellus Wiley's bag wasn't quite where it was, she had them divorce documents, and all she was talking about was what she spent and what he got from her. That's all she wanted to talk about. Okay. Think about that for a few moments. She wanted to talk about, by the way, he done got a couple of $100,000 from me. Y'all can lock him up, kick him out the damn house, give me the kids, give me every damn thing. Yeah, she is holding a grudge on that 200 G's. She's holding a grudge about that. Okay, why are we not examining that walking in the door? And making sure that we all have a clear understanding about this. When a chick is getting all the treats and hasn't contributed anything, hell yeah, she can get up and leave. Fellas don't understand that, brother. You are investing. Are you making sure that she is investing equally? Well, she's rubbing me on the back and Okay, bro, you paid for 3 vacations. Has she paid for 1? Out of 4 vacations y'all have been on, has she paid for a single one? Oh, this is going to hurt a whole bunch of you pension pimps and salary simps and you old ass niggas that the only thing you can do is negotiate with your wallets. I know I'm hurting your damn feelings tonight. Go ahead and scream. Even you Tom Joyner Cruise old niggas. By the way, hey dude, you done paid for 4 vacations. Has she paid for even 1? You've paid for a bunch of gifts. Has she paid for even 1 that is equivalent to what? Think about the most expensive gift you ever bought her. Has she bought you one that was half as expensive? How much work and labor and effort is she putting into making sure you glowed up? How much has she put into that? Fellas, for every dollar you put in, she should be putting in at a bare minimum a quarter and preferably 2 quarters. She should be doing at a bare minimum a quarter. If you done took her on 3 trips, number 4 is supposed to be on her. If she is avoiding that and not doing that, hey, fellas, she's showing you what your value is. She's sitting there smiling at you while she ain't doing nothing. And then you bring this up and she's still smiling while you talking about, by the way, hey, I'm paying for all the vacations. She's sitting up there still smiling at you. Nigga, can't you see you getting took? She's smiling at you because she's like, yeah, nigga, I got it right where I want it. You the man, ain't you? Fellas, your responsibility to be you're the woman, aren't you? What about that 2-way street that we discussed? Because it sounds like you don't speak the love language. We both said that love language and we both speak the same language. It sounds like you done stopped speaking it. Now, how the hell is that supposed to be happening? How the hell is that supposed to be happening? Dudes don't get it. They get it after things go bad. They don't get it before it goes bad. So, no, the state that you're in, it does matter because different states have wacky laws. But I think even more important than that is the due diligence. Have you done your due diligence? Have you dotted your I's and crossed your T's? Did you actually document these things? Or are you just taking her word for it? And don't be afraid to put some stuff in writing. The women wanted to make this weaponized sexual marketplace. I'm like, okay, fellas, well, bring your bulletproof vests. We didn't weaponize this. If the women want to weaponize it, it's like, okay, well, the men are built for war. So going forward, okay, these are the rules. The men took everything on faith and the women took advantage of it and started weaponizing it and victimizing people. It's like, okay, well, here are the rules. And if John Cena can do it, how the hell is it you're too good for it? Does John Cena look like he got any regrets? Leonardo DiCaprio? Need I remind you all, there's a reason why all the women that Leo slept with, they ain't saying nothing because they can't say anything. Don't you recognize an NDA when you see one? Most of you can't. I had to hip all of y'all to that game. Hey, you notice their girlfriends are not doing any interviews about them. Yeah, they're not doing any interviews because they can't. Them little old 20-something-year-old gals that Leo been laying up with, they can't talk to you. Shannon Sharp, the hoes came out the damn wood. The first one didn't sign the NDA was the one came out squawking. Leonardo DiCaprio's like, yeah, I'm not even going to talk to you before you sign this. You sign this, and then whatever happens after that is what happens. But you're not getting any of my time before you sign this. You're not going to be doing any tell-alls. You're not going to be doing any Instagram posts. You're not going to be doing any pillow talk with your family, pause, or anybody else. You sign this, and then we'll see what happens next. Folks, Laurie Harvey. Y'all think Michael B. Jordan is not talking because he doesn't want to? He signed hers, she signed his. She's not saying anything because she can't say anything. And Damson Idris won't either. And we can go down the list. These guys ain't out here just dating chicks and then it doesn't go some kind of way and the females are being honorable. All of them are a bunch of salty hoes too. The issue is that Leo was like, yeah, let me deal with that salty thing before you get started. Before you decide you're going to do that, let me just make sure you're on paper. Before you do that. Now, does that guarantee that you won't have somebody who tries something slick to try to break it? Of course not. Take a look at Tiger Woods. Take a look at Diddy. I'm not saying that there won't be folk who may try it. I'm just saying that, by the way, take a look at Tiger Woods and take a look at Diddy. If it weren't for the fact that you tied Diddy to a crime, she'd be behind the 8 ball. And she really is still, by the way. Tiger Woods, that chick tried to break her NDA and they shut that down. So yeah, take a look at Tiger Woods. She tried to break the NDA and they shot that down. So much for your agreements don't hold. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. The rest of them chicks, Cassie's the only one been talking. The rest of them broads can't talk. The rest of them cannot talk. They've been trying to get a lawyer to help them talk. You can't say nothing. She was the only one they took to the freak off, so you can't say anything. That's the way that goes. We can go down the list. But I want you all to understand, for the folk who take this kind of stuff seriously, yeah, that's the way that goes. Kim Kardashian may say some flowery words about Pete Davidson, but you know she's not really talking about him anymore. Although I wouldn't be surprised if his druggy ass didn't even sign nothing. So you shouldn't be afraid of that either. I've told y'all that before. When you got the company car, I'm telling you what the rules are. You can put all of that in writing. Corporations do it every day. They have a CEO. Here's the company car, the company plane. So long as they are the CEO of the company, this is how they're going to be living. The issue that we have is we got a bunch of dudes out here trying to give husband benefits to hoes they laid up with. What the hell? And even as husbands, it's like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a result of you being here, not you're no longer here and still getting benefits. It's like, oh, wait a minute. The penalty factor here obviously is not high enough. It really isn't. It's really not. So these are important things that I think that fellas in the modern era today, dudes need to get on that. Because here's the issue. As men, if the females approached us with a written contract, we would read it. We would analyze it. We might have some clauses we want to take in or drop out, but we wouldn't have a problem with that. There's the issue. As men, that wouldn't bother us. We don't have a problem entering into a binding agreement and being held to it. The problem comes in when you start talking to females and saying, okay, here's the agreement and you'll be held to it. They're like, oh, wait now. No, rules for thee, not for me. And they're like, okay, fellas, in the modern age, you got to move different. You got to move different. Do your best, get your value up, and make sure you're avoiding situations that give people leverage over you. Kids in marriage give them leverage over you. So first of all, you can avoid that very easily. If you're with a female that you're thinking of going in that direction, make sure you've done all your due diligence because the liabilities far outweigh the benefits if you don't. But I challenge anybody to show me how the hell you can run the gauntlet of everything I just told you all tonight. Tell me how the hell she ran the gauntlet of that and that went bad. Tell me. And by the way, remember, this is always open to being amended. So there's always, I'm not saying that I've given you all the layers because those are not all the layers that could be. There can be layers you can have on top of that. What I am saying, though, is that think about that right there. When you take a look at all the guys who have horror stories, there is something, one or all the things that I mentioned tonight, they violated them. For the fellas who do have horror stories, they violated one or all of the things that I just named. That's the real point. If they actually abided by that, they don't really have horror stories like that. The ones who do, you can see they actually, they ignored it. Bypassed it, didn't do that. They took her word for it. But don't worry, I'm invested. She'll be equally invested and she'll just stay put. And I'm like, okay, that's the honor system. That's the honor system. I hope she's as honorable as you, because most men at the courthouse, their biggest complaint is the women aren't being honorable anymore. She's like, I'm honorable when it serves me. It's no longer to my advantage. Oh, done with that honorability stuff. Let me see if I can get a judge to break the law, break the rules, ignore statute. Let me see if I can find a judge who'll just give me what I want. And fellas just need to be obvious that most males are just desperate to get what they consider to be reliable sexual access. And here's the problem. Most females know this. Even the ones you think are unassuming. Every single female knows that you're jockeying for regular sexual access. You're fooling yourself if you tell yourself they're not thinking that. Of course they know that. The real thing they're looking for is that the only thing you want? So if that's all you want and that's all you value and that's all that you're prioritizing, then she's like, okay, I got the advantage. You're going to find out at the beginning of your relationships how much value you have. Do not think you're going to jump up 3 years later and raise the price because you've already been given the cow the milk for free. I know. Fellas, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? That works both ways. You come in the door giving her the milk for free. What makes you think that later you're going to start insisting that she has to buy the cow? If you wanted to get her to purchase the cow, your strongest position was when you first met. To let her know this is the price coming in the door. Most men pay for desperation. If you actually have value, you can help avoid a lot of that. But being desperate is the worst position to try to negotiate from. Worst position to try to do that from. In the chat room, Bold Gal needs to give me a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes. I'm so glad that you want to go over statistics. I'd be very glad to go over statistics. As a matter of fact, we've been talking about that tonight. So Bold Gal, I'm so glad that you're a bold gal. Let's go ahead and get Bold Gal up here on Zoom for us here. Let's go ahead and get Bold Gal up here on Zoom. You got 2 minutes for that, so let's go ahead and get them on up here. As I said, this is interactive. This is interactive. No, people, look, I'm different from everybody else. If folk dispute us, they should be very easily able to just call in, call up, and show that. In this era where folk want to make things up, it's like, okay, let me go to Google right quick and show you what it really says. Y'all notice it doesn't, they back and forth with other folk and troll and all that garbage. For me, it's like, okay, you dispute me, front and center. Let's get you on up here, front and center. Then you notice things get real quiet right after front and center because there's no reason to dispute me in the chat room. I have a Zoom link that gives you a direct line. Why don't you just call me up directly and say it? Why do they sit there in a chat room? Here's what I know. Okay, why are you not calling him up directly and saying that? Wouldn't that give you the biggest megaphone there? Wouldn't that do that? Look, I know some of the salty baby mamas, they're upset. You know, it's just these body blows are hooking them because the cope is the only thing that they can start living with because this is reality. This is reality. The bottom line is that women will never pay what men do. Women don't do that. Women are not going to pay what men do. Women will fantasize about a Bentley. They ain't getting up under one. They're not getting under the payments, not getting under the maintenance, not getting under that. The really nice things, only men are going to provide that. Only men are going to do the long-term work. Men are the only ones who are going to do that. The really nice stuff, females ain't doing that. Hell, they won't even cover the down payment. The really nice stuff is provided by the men. It always has been, it always will be. We're the ones who do that because that takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice and it has to be extensive. Women are not trying to figure out how to extend themselves that long. It takes too much damn work. It's too difficult. 80 hours a week. It's like, she's not going to do that. The only thing they can wrap their heads around that for is at most is a car. I mean, is a house. And even still, that's a big can of worms. We can get Bold Gal to go ahead and call us up here so we can discuss said can of worms. Bold Gal can give us a call up so we can discuss said can of worms. Just please keep in mind that, by the way, the things I'm saying are not very difficult here. It should be very easy to disprove. It should be very easy to show. If they're not doing it, it isn't because the information isn't out there, unless it really isn't. So they make up these coping mechanisms, and then they make up these lies and tropes to make themselves feel better about the ditch they've got themselves in. But here's the issue. Just like I talked with the fellow before, I'm like, hey, how is she living? Let me find that out. How is she living? What are the facts? How are they really living? What are they really doing? Because I'm showing you chicks who are sitting up here posing on damn me Instagram. They're posing on Instagram and acting like they stunting. And it's just like, okay, but then they're literally walking into child support court saying, I ain't got a dime to my name. I don't have any money. And I'm not thoroughly convinced of that either. But what I am saying is like, yeah, now we know where everything you got came from. The Chanel bags, the shoes. It came from dudes. Now that you have to get it out the mud on your own, they're not doing that. They're not doing it. You see, the problem with being strong and independent, ladies, is that when you attempt to be strong and independent, you know what the real problem is? The tripwire is that you're going to run into that damn top tax bracket. Damn! As a female, if you ever attempt to compete with men on masculine terms, you're going to run into that top tax bracket. So you see, you can't just do the bare minimum. Once you demonstrate that you're not a minimum wage chick, you got to pay the top tax bracket, especially if you don't have any kids. Now you got to carry the whole freight. Well, once you get in that top tax bracket, you're really going to have to do double that in order to maintain this level of affluence. You're going to have to do double that. So you can't even do the bare minimum. Yeah, but hell, getting to that bare minimum is going to be hell. And it is. You try to make $250,000 a year. Half of that's going to go in taxes. Half of that's going to get gobbled up in taxes, and you're like, I'll be damned. So yeah, you can sit on Instagram and post all the videos you want to. What you will not be doing is demonstrating that much value. That it takes too much damn work. It takes too much work. No, that Chanel bag was around $7,000. And what I'm saying is that, yes, she's not going to do that. These chicks don't have the credit. They don't have the income, which is why they don't have the credit. They don't have that. These are dudes who buy that. Do y'all know what these Instagram chicks will do for a Fendi bag?
Damn!
Man, y'all better go talk to some of your club promoters. Do y'all know what these Insta thoughts will do for a handbag? Do y'all know what these Instagram hoes will do for a Louis bag? For a Gucci, for a Fendi? Do y'all know what they'll do to go shopping for a handbag? Do y'all know how many tricks they'll turn for that? Not even in Dubai. Don't be silly. We ain't even talking about Dubai requirements. Do y'all know what these chicks will do for a handbag? Do y'all know what they'll do for a pair of shoes? Do you know how much you can get for a handbag out of a broad? They spend half their time trying to get handbags and the other half their time begging for rent. Man, do you know how much you can get out of you know how much mileage you can get out of a handbag? Or do you know what they'll do for one? much less a couple of purses. Man, look here. You don't know the game. What they'll do just for a handbag, for some shoes, for a bracelet. Hell, in some of their cases, struggling to go get their hair done. Time to put in some new weave or whatever. Okay, funds is running low. She's like, okay, let me go see who I can turn some tricks for to go get this new weave put in and go get these nails done. Fellas, ladies, come on. Not just in a few cities, in every city. Everyone. What they'll do for a handbag, what they'll do for a Fendi, what they'll do for a Prada. So when you see those things, just understand this, understand where it's coming from. Understand what it's about and understand where it's really coming from. They don't even really get around like that, to be totally honest. Where the car situation is concerned, they don't really get around like that. But you are right about that. I mean, their personal cars will just be some economy stuff. That's why they want to keep a man, because the men pay for the really expensive cars. The females don't do that. We've covered that. Females do not deal with exotics. They don't. Even these females y'all think you see on Instagram, these are men who own those accounts.
What? Damn!
Oh, am I saying too much? Yeah, there's a bunch of females on Instagram, for example. They got like car channels. Please don't be deceived. Just like Call Me Daddy. Call Me Daddy didn't set it up. Those men behind her did. So these women are the front people for an Instagram page. So don't be deceived about that. The whole thing is they're supposed to give you the idea that they running this and living that life. And no, it's a production company and some men doing it. It's some guys doing it. She's just the front person. She's just the face of it. These women are not going to buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Do you know how challenging that is for men to do? These women ain't doing that. They're not doing it. It's some guys doing it. Women ain't even in the cars like that. They'll have one or two that they like that, but women don't just hop around like that. No. If they do want to step out like that, but a lot of them, you can't do that from the beach, and you can only do that certain times of the year. So don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. I know it's very, very tricky. It's very seductive, but don't let them fool you. Going forward for the fellas here, I want y'all to understand the dangerous new treacherous terrain that you find yourselves on. They are desperate out here now. The courts are kicking back their little phony ass lawsuits and their phony ass child support. It's getting hard for hoes to move. Moving around is getting hard. It's getting difficult. So my warning to you tonight is that now that these women are striking out with the fellas in the top 10th of 1% and the 1%ers, fellas, what's up next? Next, they got to go scheming for you guys in the top 5% and you guys in the top 10%. That's the next stop. Ain't that right, Stacey Dash?
Damn!
Hey, fellas, when the 8-figure niggas and the 7-figure dudes, when they fall out of favor with them, next stop, 6 figures. When the 7-figure lick dries up, next stop is 6 figures. Eventually, she gonna have to break down and do that. Eventually, she gonna have to break down and get in where she fit in. I didn't say she's gonna be happy about it, but eventually she gonna have to break down and get in where she fit in. You're gonna have to go find some sucker ass simp or some pension pimp to come take care of you and them bastard kids. You're gonna have to do that. He's not gonna be a star. He's gonna be socially awkward. Nobody's gonna turn their head when they see him. Actually, he's gonna look a little bit odd. He's probably gonna be shorter than you. He's gonna be damnably looking crazy. He's gonna be, old, overweight, weird looking. Maybe that's gonna be where you got to be. because that's the guy who has been waiting to take the leftovers because he actually understands where his value is. So he'll wait to take the leftovers. Baby, that's where you're going to be at. You're going to be there. The little bug-eyed, weird Dr. Robotnik looking fella. What? Damn! Yeah, baby, that's ultimately where you're going to end up at. There are not enough 1%ers or 5%ers to take care of all the hoes and then run themselves into the ground. So that's where you're going to be at. You're going to be there. I just want the fellas to understand, it's like, dude, you's a fool if you take it. When them little cast off thoughts come around, I ain't telling you that you can't take your turn. What I'm saying is make sure that from the streets she came and to the streets she shall return. Make sure that when it's your turn, that when you're done having your turn, you can get up from the roller coaster at the amusement park and leave. If she's going to make you wait until every low-life degenerate and jackass has done had their turn with her, it's like, okay, baby, you laugh on the way going up. All right, it's time to pay the bill on the way going down. Okay, if you were perfectly fine living it up when you had all the options at your disposal and you were living it up and enjoying it, then do not cry when the bill comes due. Pay for play. If that's what it's got to be for the men, for the ladies, it's got to be that for you too. So if you had your thrills on the front end, then prepare for the bill on the back end. If that's the way you want to play it, okay. Well, it's time to woman up. It's time to woman up, and here's the bill. I understand there'll be some sucker ass simps out there. It's just you're just stupid. But I think for most men, things are getting too tight to be that big of a fool. So there will not be the bumper crop that you used to have. And for the fellas out there, I'm like, hey, dude, if Brittany Renner slip and fall into your DMs or one of these Insta thoughts and whatnot from All-Star Weekend, once again, I'm not telling you that you can't take your turn. Bruh, do what you do. I'm not mad at you. I'm not criticizing you. I'm not condemning you. I'm not discouraging you. What I am doing is saying play it by the rules. If you know this is your turn, be honest with yourself. Don't tell yourself, oh, good, finally something fly, and all these bastard kids and debt and damage and STDs, that's just the cost of doing business. Man, stop being stupid and desperate. When your turn rolls up, treat it like just that. Oh, good, I picked up a thought on discount.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, look, I picked up a hoe on discount. I picked up a hoe from the clearance bin. Hey, y'all, I was at Big Lots and there was a Brittany Renner in the discount bin. Damn! Okay, it's got a lot of age on it here and some miles, and the cover of the DVD is kind of faded here. Now, the disc has a few scratches, but it'll play. I mean, it's definitely not in mint condition, but it's... Oh, hell, I slipped and fell and found a Melissa Ford in the discount bin. And what I'm saying is that's playing the game properly. That's playing the game properly. Recognize what you got. Don't be a stupid sucker ass simp being desperate. Okay, she done played with everybody she really wanted to be with. She's coming to you because plan A didn't work out. Okay, well, let her know today's price is not yesterday's price. If you had come to me before all the athletes and rappers and lowlives ran through you, we would be having a different discussion. You got hella road miles, dents, dings, knocks. This damn motor is doing some weird stuff over here. What? That's what we doing now. We doing that. We're doing that. And this is what you can get. Now, that's a man being smart. Okay, it's your turn. If it's your turn, treat it like it's your turn. I'm not mad at you. But you fellas like, well, it's my turn. It's time to be Russell Wilson. Jason, this is the best I ever had. I gotta make sure she don't go nowhere. Nigga, she's a rolling hoe stone. She rolls, she moves. She's not gonna be there. I need folk not to be silly, man. You get with a chick who been around, bro. When we say it's your turn, what we mean is that eventually your turn will be over no matter what you do. If she's whacked in the damn head, she would rather fight with you than have a good relationship with you. Furthermore, she doesn't even know how to have a good relationship. So you're fooling yourself. Bruh, enjoy the ride while you're there. Get as much as you can out of your ticket for it. Don't be a fool and overpay. And when the ride is over, get up and leave the amusement park. And be like, well, no, I can see why all the fellas wanted to come to Ditzy World. And that's what it needs to be. Hoes don't love nobody.
And deal with it, nigga.
For real, for real. The issue is the females are the gangsters today and the males are the simps. The females are the cutthroat gangsters and the males are the simps looking to get took. So this is kind of where we are today. This is kind of where we're at. This is kind of where we're at. So if the fellas ever get their heads on straight about that, when one of these cast off run through chicks runs up, okay, it's your turn. Just know what the price is. We ain't doing Chanel bags and all that. She can take trips with you. She can do that. I'm going on a trip. I'm going on a cruise. Okay, she can be a companion. As far as breaking bread and all this other stuff right here, it's like, okay. So I'm just warning you fellas, the chicks are getting desperate. The top 1%, the fellas with the Bentleys and the Birkins, the Bentley and the Birkin pool has dried up. The courts ain't giving them the hustle they used to. They're moving on down to the 5% and the 10%, fellas. And you think you're just lucky. Ain't that right, Director X?
Damn!
You think you're lucky. You are not lucky. Them fellas in the top 1% ain't in the DMs and not returning phone calls. You're not lucky. So to the fellas out here and whatnot, if you can pick up one of these chicks and whatnot and in between going to their daycare, I ain't mad at you, but recognize it for what it is. Deal with it for what it is. Don't get took. Deal with it for what it is. That's what you want to do. Okay, in the chat room, Ray the King is asking a question there.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
Okay, Ray the King is asking a question there. Thank you very much for your support tonight, brother. We appreciate that. He said, this may be a stupid question. Can you explain how to get over that monotonous feeling I have doing the same strategy over and over again every day during the week? Ray, I'm not sure what monotonous thing you're doing. So I'm not really sure what is the monotonous thing that you're doing. Can you clarify that? Because I want to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight, but I'll stick around just for a few more moments. If you can clarify what is the monotonous, you have a monotonous feeling. Okay, what is the thing that you're doing? What is the same strategy you're doing over and over again every day? Maybe I can, if I can get some clarity on that, maybe I could do that a little bit more. No, for those of you who are unaware, that's why I'm making you aware about that. This is what the new numbers are for those in the top 10%, those in the top 5%, those in the top 1%, those in the top 10th of 1%. These are what the numbers actually really are right now. And all the hoes who gave up their leverage and all the chicks who got run through, man, it's rough now. It is rough and terrible now. They're sitting out here and they're looking for somebody to get the next Birkin, get the next Bentley, get the next Prada, The 7-figure dudes are not available, so you 6-figure fellas, you gonna be in the crosshairs. And please understand, it may not be a chick as high profile as Brittany Renner, but most chicks out here today are trying to get in where they fit in, man. They're trying to get in where they fit in. The money has done dried up. Most of them were in retail jobs. They thought they could jump from one trick to another. The pension pimps are really the only thing holding up the hoe economy.
What?
Right now, the only thing holding up the hoe economy are the pension pimps. Just like in the regular economy, the only thing keeping us from going into recession right now is AI and the data center build out, which is a bunch of speculation. The only thing holding the hoes together right now is the pension pimps. Those are the only thing holding up the hoe economy today. A bunch of old niggas, a bunch of simp niggas out here who they just never got a shot. So they're just walking in the door, waving their wallet, saying, hey, who needs their bills paid? Who needs their kids took care of? Now that you're in dire straits and down on your luck, you're far less likely to ignore me, so who need their bills paid? I don't care, you got 2 kids, 20 kids. It's just, who need their bills paid? He is tired of being in this drought. He looks like one of them little kids with Sally Struthers and Feed the Children. He is tired of that drought. So that's the only thing holding up the hoe economy. Chicks know full damn well. Go find some old bastard, some old gray-haired dude with the pension and whatnot. Okay, he might be a little wacky. He might smell a little funny. He ain't worried about him. He's willing to reliably patch these bills together. He's willing to reliably take you on. Oh, Empress said, me?
What?
Damn!
Oh. FBA Empress, is there something you want to get off your chest? Oh, ma'am. I'll see if I can let you slide in Prince's DMs here or whatever, baby. She's saying me. Hey, look, I ain't mad at you. She say she a woman in need. Hey, baby, squeak a wheel, get the oil. Closed mouth don't get fed. I ain't mad at you. Closed mouth don't get fed. So, what she say? Hey, Jason, is there a pension pimp for me? They hanging around. You know them. They don't turn down nothing but they collar. So, they'll be hanging around. Yeah, man. Well, these chicks are like, hey, look here. That nigga benefits is solid. I'm tired of paying for my own dental plan.
What?
She's like, who's gonna buy these veneers? Who's gonna buy these veneers? She ain't trying to figure out how to do that themselves. She took a look at how much the cost was over there in Turkey. She's like, oh, I can get a discount, but damn, who's gonna buy these veneers? Who's gonna buy these veneers? Okay, Ray, you might have to either email me or contact me on Patreon about that. That's a rather in-depth question that I would have to ask a bunch of questions about because there's more details I need to get. I think I know what you're getting at there, but that's going to be more. I'm going to need a lot more details. So you can either get at me by email or check with me on Patreon here tomorrow because I would have to actually talk to you about that. Yeah, I'd have to actually talk to you about that. That's going to be something I have to actually talk to you about. So, I have a lot more questions I would have to ask. Hey, look, for the chicks out here who want to get their pension pimping together, there's the thing about it. See, if you're a chick in your 40s, you need to get a nigga in his 60s.
What? Damn!
There's the issue. You're going to be pension pimping regardless. You're going to have to go grab a nigga in his 60s. That's the only fella who's dreaming about buying a Fendi bag for you.
And deal with it, nigga.
For you and your 3 kids. Yeah, you need to go find a fella in his 60s who's out the damn game. He's not competing. He ain't got nothing to lose. He's on a fixed income. His hip is kind of going wacky on him. And He ain't really trying to chase nothing around because, like I said, his hip is bad, so he can't really run like that. Yeah, y'all chicks gonna be fighting for them dudes in their late 50s and 60s, and the old retired military fella. Shout out, Prince. What? Damn. You know, the old fella retired from the city. Y'all gonna be fighting for him. Oh, then they say he needs to be a pension pimp who looks good for his age. Baby, that's not the way that works. He's like, my resources look good for my age.
And deal with it, nigga.
Y'all see how just that quickly the females tried to change it. I told you what it was, baby. He brought you a solid benefits package and a fixed income. Then she's like, well, okay, he can be a pension pimp, but he got to raise my status and look good. Whoa, no. His benefits package look good. His benefits package look good, and that's what looks good. His ability to make that minimum monthly credit card payment, that looks good. That right there. Okay, she's talking about Usher is 50 years old. Ma'am, Usher is not a pension pimp neither. Y'all, she's trying to compare Usher to the pension pimps.
Nigga, what?
Y'all see how quickly females change it? They don't really want that. She's like, yeah, I want a pension pimp like Usher. Y'all, is Usher a pension pimp? Is Usher on a pension? Y'all see just how quickly their fantasy life kicked in? Do you see how quickly their fantasy life kicked in? Just that quickly. They want a nigga that's bad to the bone. She done sailed past her prime like a plane flying over JFK. And it's just, okay, but he's got to be on point. I want a pension pimp who's on point. Didn't you just hear me say pension pimps ain't on point like that? He has disposable income that he is willing to spend on you. He's not a top 1%er. He's not a top 5%er, but he is willing to break a few chips for you because his standards have significantly lowered. Yours will have to significantly lower too. So she's like, I want a pension pimp. He need to be like Denzel Washington, ma'am. Denzel is not a pension pimp, ma'am. Well, Idris Elba, no, he's not a pension pimp neither. Morgan Freeman. What? Damn. Hey, ladies, now you can get a Morgan Freeman type dude without the voice. You don't get the voice now. You get Morgan Freeman, but without the voice. Did you get that? You can have Morgan Freeman, but without the voice. Yeah, that took the wind out their damn sails, didn't it? She's talking about Michael Jordan. Okay, y'all, she's just trolling now. No, baby, you get Morgan Freeman. You get George Jefferson.
Nigga, please.
Baby, you get Morgan Freeman and George Jefferson and a fellow who looks like Bill Cosby. I'm talking about with the cataracts.
Damn!
Baby, you get him. You need a nigga slow enough so he can't run around on you. I want him to be home every night and be faithful. That's why that nigga got a bad hip. He can't get around no more. Yes, that's the dude you gonna be with. You can drive him to his doctor's appointments. That's the pension pimp. You get to do that. He does a bunch of old retiree stuff. See, they talk about a pension pimp, but they want a nigga that's sporty. Usher is doing shows every night on the Vegas Strip. How many damn pension pimps you know work as hard as a pension pimp ain't supposed to be working? Usher's still working. I mean, at the top of his damn game. Yeah, y'all. They want a pension pimp who's still sporty. No, ma'am, you get the old nigga waddling his way through the damn resort. That's who you get. You get him. Soon as I told them what they get, they start trying to negotiate around it. No, not him. No, baby, that's what you get. That old nigga you never thought you'd see yourself with at the Holiday Inn of the Four Seasons, that old nigga you never thought you'd see yourself with, yeah, that's gonna be him. Sure is. He's like, my wallet got a 6-pack ab. What? Damn! Yeah, baby, that's who you gonna be with. That old nigga with the all gray hair, wearing the damn plaid shirt, you know, waddling like the church deacon. Yeah, baby, you know, the church deacon. Yes, that's the pinch and pimp. You ain't never seen a church deacon look like Denzel, Michael Jordan, Usher. No, ma'am. The deacon at your church, him. Yes, right there. Yeah, that's him. No, he doesn't have any dance moves. No, he ain't fly. He can't do no Vegas strip. He's driving that Cadillac XTS.
Nigga, what?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, and one more thing. And he don't want to spend no money.
What?
Oh, yeah, ladies, one more thing about the pinch and pimp. That nigga don't want to spend no money. Oh, you ain't never met a nigga more stingy than the damn retiree. Young niggas spend money. That's how these hoes end up with all these damn children. Young niggas will spend money. Young niggas will spend money on your surgery and whatnot. Old niggas, he been waiting his whole damn life to be comfortable. He's not going to have you show up and come liquidate his little old sandbox. Old niggas don't spend money like that. So that's the other thing. When you get you a pension pimp, when I say fixed income, that also means fixed spending.
What?
Yes, ma'am. He didn't spend his whole damn life so a broad can be off in his pockets just winning the lottery, going on shopping sprees. Oh, no. And he gonna tell you what's wrong with the shoes you got. You talking about go buy some new shoes. Like, what's wrong with the shoes you got? He gonna break off into a bunch of stories about how he grew up poor and whatnot. So, nah, baby, you ain't gonna get to sit up here and break him. No. No, y'all. Y'all know how old niggas are. Take a look at y'all's family. The retired old men in y'all's family. Y'all know that nigga's, he is the most scroungest nigga you ever met in your life. He don't want to hear from nobody. He's like, nigga, I got mine, get yours. He don't even want to answer the phone. It's another nigga trying to beg me for money. Y'all know how it is. The folk in your family who live to retirement, no, he's on the lookout for anybody trying to hit him up for some cash. He ain't trying to play no ATM. As a female, you'll have a little more monetary access, but he ain't just turning on no fire hose and leaving you there to suck it all up. No, ma'am. No, take a look at the church deacon. That retired nigga there, that's who you gonna get. That's the pension pimp right there. Right there. It ain't fly. It ain't flashy. You can't stun at the mall. He doesn't have any talents.
What? Damn!
Y'all saw what she named? She named Usher and Michael Jordan. Those are two men who have talents. Baby, pension pimps are not flashy. This ain't Prince Charming. He's not an old dude who can sing a serenade. He doesn't have any talents. That nigga's only talent is going to work, and he's done doing that. So no, ma'am, you don't get any frills. There are no frills here. There are no fringe benefits. You get a nigga who is not resentful to pay the damn rent. And you're going to have to live in the same house he done already bought. So if he got to keep the house in the divorce, you're going to have to be there. Yes, ma'am. If he got to keep the house after the divorce, you're going to have to be there. Ain't that right, Prince? Ain't that right, Prince? If he did get to hold on to the house, that's where you're going to be. So I hope you like it because you'll be there. That's the pension pimp life. Right there. That's where you're going to be, baby. You're going to be sniffing around his bank account. I know this nigga got it. I know he got enough for a damn Chanel bag. And he going to see that damn $7,000 and have flashbacks to his childhood. Yeah, y'all ain't seen an old nigga. Y'all don't see no old niggas at the Chanel store. Y'all hoes need to quit playing. He got his house. I sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Why is he screaming? Because ain't nobody else telling it. Hey, y'all, and I've been there. When's the last time y'all saw senior citizens at the Chanel store, the Prada store, the Louis store? Take some damn pictures. When did you see some old niggas walking around there? I'll wait. Show Show me the last time you seen some old folks shopping at the Chanel store and walked out with something. That's a young man's game. That's a young woman's game. I dare you, Lenox Mall and everything else. I dare you all to show me some old folk walking around the Chanel store, Gucci store, Prada store, and walked out with something. Y'all better quit all this damn lying on the internet. Back-to-back lies on everything. Nobody's actually observing anything. This is why we can't deal with real life. You got folk lying about what the hell they gonna get. They're putting up damn Instagram posts, and you go to the damn store and there's nobody there. Just a bunch of young people. If old niggas was buying like that, you'd see them. They're every damn where else, clogging up the freeway and clogging up the streets. It's free sailing at them stores. I'll be damned. That nigga's not gonna walk up there and you gonna blow him out for $7,000. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. He's not doing that. Old niggas don't pay for surgery. He's like, baby, you good like just like you is. Why you need some bubble butt? You trying to get up, talking about getting plastic surgery. Old niggas don't pay for that. Pension pimps don't pay for surgery. He's like, baby, you good just like you is. You don't need all that. You good just like you is. He'll pay for a gym membership. He's not paying for Dr. Miami. He ain't doing that. Yeah, I'm hurting some feelings here tonight. They had their pension pimp fantasies. Oh, here comes reality like a Mack truck. Hell yeah, baby. They want a pension pimp prince. That's what they want, not Prince here in the chat room. They want some damn pension pimp celebrity. They want a pension pimp celebrity. What the hell? Don't get mad now, Prince. Don't get mad now, Prince, nigga. You go up to the VA and go pimp on them hoes up there. And just, what? Yeah, Prince get up there at the VA in his wheelchair and the nurses, they see his chart and see how long he been there, and then they start sizing up what they can get. I know how y'all niggas do. I ain't busting the hustle. All y'all church deacons, all y'all niggas retired from the water department, retired from the state, all y'all MTA drivers up there in New York. Damn! I ain't mad at you. All y'all MTA dudes up there in New York and things, I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying, just don't fake the funk. We ain't gonna lie about it. Just let them know what a pension pimp really do. Okay, he's overlooking the kids and whatnot. Okay, he'll spend a little butter, don't get me wrong, but yeah, baby, he ain't dreaming of buying you no Bentley. He's not trying to be up under that because he knows you're not gonna pay for it. He's not gonna do that, so, but that's the best you can do, so he will go get you a used Cadillac. What? Damn! And not the Escalade either. Oh yeah, one more thing, not the Escalade. He's going to have a Cadillac XTS. He might get you a Cadillac. He might go ahead and get you the XT5. A used XT5. Used. You will never see a new one. Pension pimps do not buy new anything. Except clothes. And he ain't trying to go to Nordstrom's or Bloomingdale's. So, baby, he'll buy you a used Cadillac XT5. You might can get that. Escalade, he's going to be like, well, what the hell you need? I don't even drive no Escalade. What? Especially the new one with the 36-inch screen that you've been dreaming about. Oh, hell no. He's going to see that sticker price and be like, wait a minute. Oh, these folks done lost their damn minds. I remember when the Escalade was $54,000. Now it's $154,000. Okay, because you're going to want the night edition package with all the bells and whistles. Oh, hell no. That nigga's going to back off of that in a minute. He's like, if I can't write a check for it, I ain't doing it. Okay, well, she's like, well, write this check for $154,000. Yeah, go ahead and tell him that. Hey, Mr. Pension Pimp, write this check for $154,000. Yeah, that just rolls off your tongue. He's sitting there looking at you crazies. 154 G's? What the hell? I don't care if that nigga has saved up $1 million in his bank account. She's about to hit you for 10%. That's like a tax from the movie American Gangsters. I'm hitting you for 10%. Was it new tax is 20%? So hell. Man, look here. They didn't want me to run that in the ground for him right quick. But no, when she said Usher, I'm like, can we have a serious conversation? Usher is 50. I'm like, and she meant that. She meant that. Well, I can take a pinch and pimp as long as I have an usher. Okay, baby, the only usher you gonna get is the one at Trinity Baptist Church. What? That's the usher you can have, ma'am. You can have the usher next to the deacon at Trinity Baptist Church. That's the only usher you can get. And hopefully he will be 50 years old, though I doubt it. He's probably going to be closer to 60 years old. This nigga is low impact only. But he won't put up as big of a fight about you and your kids. He won't do that, so... But yeah, that benefits package you were counting on, and he's just gonna trick it off, and finally I can get that Prada bag, and because I saw those Instagram memes. Okay, it's all fun and games you try to do in real life. Even when you see them chicks on Instagram, they ain't balling out. They're not balling out. They sitting there posting videos because, baby, this is where you just landed in life. That nigga's not balling like that. You've never seen a one of them with a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bentley, Prada bags. It ain't nothing like that. They just living in a regular house in a regular neighborhood. That's it. And that's where you gonna be, Brittany, and the rest of them. And you're gonna spend the rest of your damn life trying to convince him that you really love him, and that he wasn't just the last stop because everything else failed. So you're gonna be spending the rest of your life trying to convince him of that. So, welcome to the world of the pension pimp. Welcome to the world of the salary simp. Those are the guys who go ahead and make a lane for you. They'll make that lane for you. But yeah, y'all, she said Michael Jordan and Usher. And they mean that. Females mean that. When she said Usher, she wasn't playing. She meant that. Can't I get a guy like Usher? Can I find a retired dude like Usher? Baby, here's the issue. Who is Usher trying to be with? What? Damn! Women don't even think. Okay, baby, even if you did find a 50-year-old Usher, by the way, who is if a man was like Usher, if he looked like Usher and had the swag and, had at least a tenth of the money, who's the female you think that man's trying to be with? Women don't even think about that right there. They all got their 50 Shades of Grey fantasy. That you could just be the regular chick working at Circle K. Like they're not extraordinary. They're not fabulous. They're not glamorous. You can just be the regular chick stocking the nails at Lowe's. You're the chick unloading the paint buckets at Home Depot. And damn me, Bruce Wayne, Christian Grey, and whoever comes through the store and he's passed up all these Instagram models and everything else. Oh, who's that regular basic broad over there with the big hands picking up them paint buckets? What? Damn! Yeah, who is that? So every female's got that fantasy. You'll never see men do that. But every female's got that fantasy. I'm just an average 4, average 6, but Usher is going to pass up all them Rihanna looking females and all those Ciara looking females. He's going to pass up all of them, and when he sees me, he'll realize that he didn't want all those sexy, beautiful, fly females.
Nigga, what?
Boy, I'm telling y'all, whole logic is something else. They're going to tell you, yeah, Usher is going to look at me and then realize he never wanted all those sexy, beautiful, big-breasted, tight-fit, firm, celebrity, glamorous women. He saw me and realized he didn't want that. Yeah, he thought he wanted it before he looked at me. Once he saw me, he realized he didn't want that anymore. Okay. All right. This is the logic and reasoning we have to put up with here. So, all right. So, Usher can get anything he wants. Well, and she wants a dude with a Ferrari too.
What? Damn!
She says she wants a fella with a Ferrari F355 Spider. All right, fellas, line up. She wants a dude with a Ferrari F355, so fellas, line up. All you dudes who've been working 80 hours a week, line up. She has spoken. Line forms to the left. But I'm not joking. Hey, fellas, it's getting harder for the chicks out here to come up. So you fellas who are in the mid six figures, you are starting to get firmly in the scope. You're firmly in the crosshairs now because it ain't so easy to come up off a bag no more. So get ready. Get ready. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. We bring the facts, the figures, the data, and the brutal reality and analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. So click that subscribe button and notification button. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every Saturday, 12 noon Central Time. You are more than welcome to join us. I'll be looking for Orlando and Ray and everybody else here. I'll be looking for y'all here tomorrow. I said too much tonight, as usual. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or your business will handle you.